If you're new here, I'm Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer, host of the Get Legit Law and Shit podcast and legal commentator. I've been a licensed attorney for over 15 years, but I'm not your attorney, not legal advice. I am a big fan of the cursey words, so headphones are recommended. This is where the law nerds unite to break down the news stories that you want to hear about with facts, not fuckery. Happy Friday Night Live. It is the first of the year. I moved my light a little, so if it starts reflecting in the glasses, I might have to move it back, but whatever. We're professionals here. We're gonna just figure it out. It is a chill stream tonight. We are going to talk about Sassy Saltzy on Twitter. We are going to do a Q&A. We are going to catch up on how the new year is treating. I mean, it's the first. What you guys are looking forward to in the new year, where you're coming in from, a chance for us to chat, say Happy New Year, chat with each other in the chat and with me, and for me to share with you what's coming up for the month. It's the beginning of the month. That means it's time to talk about things like the members only live stream that will be next week. We do one of those every single month. I love it so much. The members only live stream is really a lot of fun, and it generally is less than we get on the regular. So we get to do that once a month. If you are not a member of the channel yet, you can join us here at Law Nerds Unite. If you are watching on Facebook, you can just enter that in and it'll take you right to where you can join. The reason I've done a YouTube channel membership, I know Patreon takes less of a percent, but it gets you guys those cool little icons. And we have a number of members that are just a few days away from getting into the next color, which is teal. I'm very excited about it. So we've got our like dark purple, light purple, and then teal. And then we've got a couple other color tiers. So I can't wait to see that coming up for you guys. Members only live stream will be next Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. And then I want to tell you guys what membership includes just a little bit. If you don't know, we have a lot of new subscribers every month. So I'm just going to break it down real quick in case that's something you're interested in. Of course, you can always support the channel by watching, commenting on videos, sharing videos, all the things. So the channel supporter level is access to the members only live stream, early access to the videos I do upload, access to the members only chat before videos. Oh, and members only chat is still on. I forgot to turn it off. Sorry, guys. I normally turn it off. I just started rolling into our conversation. Sorry, everybody. I do not do members only chat when videos start. Generally, I do members only chat just before the videos go live. So our mods don't have to worry about it nearly as much because we do get quite a lot of viewers. And then the mods do work really, really hard on this channel. They're amazing. And we do have 2 hours of content, generally, sometimes longer, when we stream. So I try to make sure that they don't have to moderate too much because some of you guys pop in here 2 hours early just to chat with one another, which I absolutely love. So let me get this turned off real quick so everyone can come in and chat, because that's how we roll. I love our chats. You guys are so respectful in the chat and it just makes it so much fun. So let's go ahead and turn this off. We are going to put on slow mode. So just be aware that's on just to help the mods. Okay, slow mode. There we go. So, professionals here. Professionals, people, professionals. Oh, it's the new year. We're starting off well. I love it. So, okay, everybody's in. The mods are amazing. Thank you guys. So when you are, the channel supporter level is our, first level. It helps support the channel. Access to the members only live stream, which is the first Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. Central. And that's all in the members only tab. Members get sneak peeks to things. The members got to see this is top secret. But the members got to see the new art for the podcast today, and they got to see the name of the new podcast that's launching, and we got to chat about that. Members also get early access to videos so that I can go in and answer questions and chat before videos go live for everybody else when I upload videos. So that is at all the support levels. And then for the enthusiast and advocate levels, we do have a quarterly Zoom call where we all can get in and chat. And we're going to definitely figure out a way to increase some of the member benefits for that too. And I'm thinking about things like private clubhouse rooms where we can all get in and chat for people who don't want to be on video on Zoom and stuff like that. So we're going to be adding those things in as things like Clubhouse roll out more. But I put all that stuff in the members only community tab. So if you've never been a channel member on YouTube anywhere, you have the community tab where you see posts, and then there's a community tab just for members where they see stuff that's not accessible to everybody else. So that's where I put things like, hey, I can follow you on, I haven't done it yet, I'm doing it tonight, but I can follow you on Clubhouse if you're there, so we can have members only Clubhouse rooms. And then if you are a channel advocate, you get into a special text community within that text number at textemily.com for those of you in North America, so that I can respond back more quickly because I see it. It's got its own little special group there. So those are the perks. At the highest membership level, the advocate level, you also get members only merch, which is coming this month. I'm so excited. So welcome to our new members. All the information's in the community tab for the members only live streams and the Zoom calls. That's where we communicate all of that. So for those of you asking what's Clubhouse, it is an invite only newer app. It's kind of like a party line. It has rooms and you chat, it's voice only. And so you go in and there's all these different rooms and you can go in and pull people up to the stage and talk. So it is a really interesting new social network. Essentially, it is, as I said, invite only for now. There are a lot of people jumping into there and it seems to be growing pretty quickly. It is iOS only right now, unfortunately, which is why I'm not like, oh, let's just do it all through Clubhouse, because I want to be tech inclusive. We're trying to make it as easily accessible for everyone, knowing that we have a international and diverse community here, and tech diverse as well. We have bitextual friends. We'll allow all our Android friends. So I'm trying to make sure that the way we do our memberships are inclusive for everyone and that people can access where I'm at. I want to make sure that I'm not doing things that people are like, wait, I can't even get there. So we will do it. There will be some Clubhouse rooms coming up. Okay, so membership, if you want to join, it starts at $4.99. It supports the channel, and you guys get to help direct content, members only live stream on Thursday and all that stuff. So the mods will absolutely be linking where to become a member. You can hit the join button on the channel, depending on if you're on mobile or if you're watching on computer. And then for those of you on YouTube, or on the Facebooks, you can just put in Law Nerds Unite and it will get you there and you can join. So everybody who joins before, next week, you will be in our members only live stream and it'll be a lot of fun. And I will put in the poll like I did for tonight. I put in a poll of what we were talking about tonight to the members, and they were like, can we talk a little bit about Sassy Saltzy and then have a Q&A and a chit chat? Everyone's tired of talking about KJ. Myself included. I'm tired. Y'all, I'm tired. It's been a busy few days. I just was enjoying the new year. We lit fireworks, which was really fun. This is a whole Tennessee thing that is not as prevalent. Where I lived in Southern California, fireworks were illegal. So we did like sparklers sometimes, but also the fire season in California is real. So we never did much. And okay, so we got these ones that are like, they look like little tanks and they like shoot these little fireballs. They're adorable. And so you can like, one of my best friends is like, no, she grew up in Tennessee and we worked together in LA, and now she's in LA and I'm in Tennessee, and I'm like, come to Tennessee. And so she is like, oh my God, those were my favorite as a kid. And you can like face them towards each other and then light them. And then they like shoot little fireballs at each other. They were so much fun. So we had fun with those kind of little fireworks. We are not like shoot off fireworks into the sky, though we might next year because we have enough space in the field behind us. But then it started raining. People were still lighting off fireworks, like big fireworks, even though it was raining last night. It was spectacular to see. It was a lot of fun. And then more rain, like all of the rain, deluges of rain, which was also really fun. I enjoy the rain. I mean, I started my first year of law school in Seattle. I enjoyed the rain. This Tennessee rain's a whole different kind of rain, like big, fat, heavy drops of rain. Seattle was like a misty, sprinkly rain most of the time. California was like, rain, we don't know you. We don't know you. So if you're interested in being a member, I think I gave you all the rundown. If you have questions about it, ask me. The mods will put links in. If you are not, I haven't mentioned it for ages, but if you are in North America and you want to join the text crew, on your mobile, just type in textemily.com on your mobile device and it'll just hook you right up and link you in. And that's a direct Udemy text. You all, let me show you guys how much you voted for purple because it is wild. I'm just going to pull up my texts and show you guys how many answers for purple we got because I can see all the responses. You guys, oh, my light is blurring out my phone. So much purple in here. And no, you can't see people's phone numbers. So many responses for purple tonight. Purple and orange were kind of the runners up. So we might just have to do orange next week because purple smashed it. It's hard to focus on my phone when the light is right there, but purple smashed. So those are all the response. Oh, they're still loading. All the responses from the text crew. It is so good. You guys, I love our text community and I love being able to connect with you. I was texting with people in the community this morning. It was a blast. Okay. Thank you so much, Goran. I hope I pronounced that properly. We will definitely get the link sent out. The mods are on top of it. They are absolutely amazing. I want to welcome all the new members. I can't even pull them all up because they have gone, but Janelle, welcome to the channel. Maria, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much. Dottie, welcome to the channel. Andrea, welcome to the channel. Leanne, welcome. Welcome, Unveiling the Masks. Welcome, Holistic Running Mama. Welcome, Jamie. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome, Christy B. Welcome, Kimbra. And welcome, Megan. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you. Hello, Beachy Things. Yes, we are there is an engagement. We also had one of our channel members get married yesterday. It's so much fun. So anyway, yes. Shailene, you are welcome. As I said, I do members only chat at the beginning so that our mods don't have to feel like they have to moderate the chat. I've also heard from a lot of the members that getting into the chat early and connecting with one another is really special and something they look forward to. So it's kind of the way that I balance it. The mods are so good and so on top of it. I also am very mindful, Lawyer Emily, that what goes down in the chat reflects on and can reflect on me and our community, but I also don't want to miss something if people are talking about things that are serious that kind of need to be addressed or helped or called out. We don't want things just popping off. It's like if you run a Facebook group, you're responsible really for what goes down in that Facebook group. So I want to make sure that if we have the chat on early, that we have members only chat. It just limits the amount of people chatting and it makes it easy to get into. So yes. Aunt Lissy, I'm gonna do some of the super chats and we're gonna jump into Saltzy being salty up on the Twitter because I live for sassy lawyering. Look, and when you're doing media cases like this, I've never seen a case do this. Like I've never seen people in litigation do the most. It is the most. And so y'all have kept me in the loop in the DMs. I've even been getting DMs just now that apparently KJ's husband deleted his Instagram. But when you delete your Instagram, it takes all the comments down. And that's going to play into what I think Saltzy has brewing. Because when I was looking at what he was saying, I'm like, this is what's coming. And so I think we're going to have more court filings next week. But I want to make sure to say hello. Hello, welcome to your first live, Deb. Hello from Sydney, Australia. I love seeing where you guys are coming from. I love it. So thank you guys for being here. Welcome. Chrissy said, I colored my hair purple today. I have no doubt you'll be joining me soon. I know we have 73.4 thousand subs here on the YouTubes, and I am dyeing my hair purple when we hit 100K. And I am getting antsy. I'm ready to dye my hair. Like, I'm excited about 100K. I'm excited about the law nerds at all. Yes, I'm excited about 100K. Who wouldn't be? But I'm really excited to dye my hair purple. I haven't decided if I'm going to go like ombre, like so that this is purple and this is still I haven't decided. Or if we're going all purple or if we're going like streaks of purple. I haven't decided. I will probably ask the members what they think and then probably talk to a hairdresser about what they think. But I cannot wait to have purple hair. I really can't. I've wanted to have colored, like actually like vibrantly colored hair. I can't even say for how long, but being in court, there was no room for that. And I'll tell you why. First, I'm going to have a sip of my pineapple kombucha. It feels like summer and I love it. It's so good. I put a facts not fuckery sticker on my wine glass because A, I'm janky, and B, it's branded and it's funny. I think it's funny. But the thing about doing trial work for me is that jurors look at you for days and sometimes weeks on end and will ask you things like, where did you get that water bottle? Where did you get the shoes you were wearing like every other day with the bows on the front? Jurors notice because literally they have nothing else to look at in the courtroom except the person standing talking, and the prosecutor is the one who has to prove the case. So they tend to talk quite a lot. And y'all have met me. So I'm sure you can imagine the amount of talking. I didn't get to talk like this, though. We didn't get to have nearly this much fun. So I always wanted to dye my hair, but a lot of the people on jury duty, you don't want to offend people to you. You want people to you want to kind of be a neutral palette and kind of fit the expectation of a lawyer so that people aren't going, well, why is she wearing like the crazy earrings? So it was always like a stud and pearls, and trying to make sure that I was not the one standing out, that people heard my case and weren't distracted by my nails or my hair or my tattoos. My tattoos are strategically placed because my suits would cover them very well. So it was things like that, making sure that people weren't distracted by me, which also became stifling to me because to do that, you have to dull your sparkle a little bit. We were just watching The Crown last night. In the episode, we went back and started from the beginning. And the queen was talking about how the monarchy should shine, but the monarch shouldn't shine. And the sister's like, bitch, I'm fabulous. I want to shine all the time because Margaret. And the actress who plays her, adorable. But like, I want to shine. And the queen's like, the crown shines. The monarchy shines, not the monarch. And that's very much what prosecuting was like to me. Like the case should shine and your witnesses should shine, but not necessarily you. And if you have been around for any amount of time, I kind of like to just shine. I like to share. I like to talk and connect and be myself and be with you guys. And so that at times felt very stifling. So that is why before now, heretofore, I have not had purple hair, but I cannot wait. And we were talking about it contemporaneously on the channel about how that needed to be a celebration. So for 69,000 subs, the Ringo video is coming. That is a celebration. And then we'll have to figure out something in the middle between now and 100 to celebrate. So we'll talk about it. Thank you, everybody, for joining the channel. I want to make sure I get to some of the super chats, talk about Twitter, and then just get into chit-chatty Q&A stuff. So it's so good to see you guys. It's so good to see you saying Happy New Year and where you're coming in from. And then we'll talk about things we're excited about in the new year in a little bit too. So yay. Yay, yay, yay. I want to make sure I get to these I think that says mediocre cupcake. Cupcakes are always fucking fabulous. They're cake and they have frosting and they're bite size. Love them. Welcome to your first live. The lives are so fun. There are over on YouTube. So I don't know how many people are watching on Facebook. I have not pulled it up, but on YouTube, there are over 3,400 of you watching. I don't know how many of the likey things, which are apparently very important to the YouTube gods, not the gods of speculation, the YouTube gods, like the engagement with the thumbsy upsies. So let me know how many of those that we have. So Sophie, the mods will hit you a link and you can go to the link and it'll take you to the join. I don't know how to do it in the app, but tech might be able to help you with that. I'm sure the mods have already covered it. I missed things. The chat just jumped on me. Scarlett, thank you so much. I feel like I'm YouTube mom. I've got total YouTube mom vibes. I think it's one of the reasons I love Adam McIntyre so much because I'm like, oh my God, I love you. Like if I had a kiddo your age, I just adore him and his fabulousness, but also I'm such a mom. You remind me so much of my mom. You're both super cool, smart, nerdy ladies. Thank you. I'll take YouTube mom. I mean, I'll definitely take it. Emily, what year were you at the LA DA's office? I clerked in the Family Violence Division during law school. I was there I clerked there too while I was in law school, but I was an active DA from 2005, end of 2005, beginning of 2006 to 2017 is when I left. So I was there for a whizzle, but I did not ever work in family violence. I have a lot of friends that are working in family violence now, but I didn't. When I was a law clerk, I worked in Capos And a lot of my stories come from Kapos, but because I was with Kapos, they were in the same part of the Hall of Records as stalking. We have our own stalking unit. So stalking and threats at the time were in that building, and so was arson. So there were times I would like creep from the Kapos stuff over to arson and be like, do we have any fraudy arsony stuff? I enjoyed it very much. So yay. But law clerking at the DA's office is such a fun experience. Peggy G, I worked as a clerk of court, so your streams give me insight on my job, which makes me want to take some law classes just for fun. Law is fun. I mean, once again, I don't love that law is like gate kept behind fancy words and lots of education, because it really governs all of the shit that we do. So it's important to understand the parameters and understand not just the parameters, but also understand the thinking behind it. Because it's like, technically it can be this, but this is how it plays out. And I love talking about how it plays out given my experience, because I have worked for, I've been a trial lawyer, I've worked in courts, I've worked for businesses, I've worked for judges. So watching it play out really, really, really works for me. I don't know Kelly Marissa, but I will definitely check her out to see what her purple hair looks like. I love that. You don't want to be the distraction. My tattoos are also strategically placed. Shelby, that's exactly what it is. I think if I hadn't been working in the courts, I probably would be sleeved a bit more, but these were easier to hide. I have tattoos on my back and on my hip, but we're not done. Like, there's lots of space. Next tattoo will be here. I have it planned in my head. I have a tattoo artist that I love in Las Vegas. When I get back to Vegas, I'm that kind of person. Like, I'm loyal. When I get back to Vegas, there will be another tattoo. So absolutely welcome, Nissy. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Damon Oates, hello, friend. Good to see you. I've been sending people your way on Twitter all day today, because we have Law Nerd fam that are crafty. And I was like, y'all, the crafty, you need Damon. Damon gives great business advice, but he knows the crafting space and like physical product space so well. And I'm not surprised you're watching from the Facebooks. From the Facebooks. Damon gets so many people on his live streams. I think I'm starting to rival it now, though. We've got 3,600 Law Nerds up in here on the YouTubes. But it's good to see you, friend. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I did miss things. Myra, I just turned 41. 41 is such a good age, and decided F it and recently dyed my hair purple. So I'm trying different brands to see which works better. People really like Arctic Fox. I've gotten quite a lot of feedback, but I would love to hear your experience with the different brands. Oh, Twin Mama, we will absolutely get into the backstory of what is the backstory as we get into what's going on with Saltzy. Like, I'll do a quick run through of where we are as we get ready to jump into the Twitter here. Thank you, Winsong Jones. Welcome. And I don't want to miss any of our super chats, because I see them up at the top. So I want to make sure I get to them. All right. Let me see. I missed a $2.99 one from It's Thumper. Happy New Year from Point. I always say Point Humane wrong, but thank you. I'm pretty sure I said it wrong. Jen Gerard, so good to see you, friend. We are going to be purple twins. I love your purple hair. I love it so much. So happy New Year. Good to see you. Thank you, Tech, for holding it down. Tifa, a check mark next to your name is going to look amazing. How exciting. May 2021 be better. Thank you. I'm hoping 2021 is better for all of us. However, I feel like we know what to expect. I got a call from my kid's school today saying hi. This is not what they said, but essentially, hi, Happy New Year. We love your children. We will not be having them back on campus. Starting in the new year, we are going to go to remote distance learning and see how it goes week by week due to COVID rates, which I kind of expected, but also it's like, damn it. Toasted Blonde, hey doll, where do you go in Vegas for your tattoos? I go to Iron Horse Tattoo with Tony and Allie Otto, the owners. They are the most amazing humans. They run a very professional and wonderful salon, but they are also amazing artists. They will help you figure out and place what you're doing. It's a very welcoming environment. I mean, when you are a like 40-plus-year-old woman walking into a tattoo parlor, it's not always the most comfortable environment. There are definitely different parlors have different vibe. They are so welcoming and they are such wonderful artists, and they're just a lot of fun to be with. So I absolutely love them, and that's where I go for tattoos in Vegas. And if I can't get in to get tattoos in Vegas the next time I'm there because you all are hitting them up, I'm gonna be sad. No, I'll come in and hang out with everybody. The autos will be like, why do we have so many people here for tattoos? I'm gonna be like, yeah, we're having tattoos. It's gonna be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. Oh, I love using StreamYard, but it sometimes jumps and it's hard. Sadie, can I cover the Cyberpunk case in the future? Are we talking about the Cyberpunk 2077 game? And if so, I will put it on the list for sure. Absolutely. The Minnie Mouse Michelle, the owner of Arctic Fox, has a lot of problematic stuff going on currently. Again, unaware. I've just gotten DMs that people like the brand. So thank you. It's always good to have all of the information in here. Did I miss Peter hopping into the chat? Hello, Peter. It's good to see you. If I missed you, if I didn't, we should make Peter dye his hair. But no, we should never make Peter dye his hair purple. Sorry, Peter. There's almost 4,000 people in the chat. I totally missed it. So thank you, chat, for saying hi to Peter. He's the reason I was turned on to you, which I'm so thankful for. I'm so thankful too. Peter is such a wonderful presence on YouTube, and I've watched him for years, but then was so kind, not only in shouting out the channel, but in reaching out to me and connecting with me. And when things were going down, especially when things are going down on Twitter, being like, hey, you're good. It's good. We can have a chat. So it's been fantastic getting to connect in this community with people who have experienced this community. And particularly when I started covering the beauty drama stuff, there's a lot of ancillary stuff that goes on with it. Like the Kanye West stans were nothing compared to the beauty drama community. For better or for worse, this is a very invested community, but the Tati lawsuits have been so busy that it just is, you guys. It's so busy. So Peter, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad that you are in the chat and you came in and said hello and that you're here. I hope you're having a wonderful new year. Arctic Fox is all right, but Eero is amazing. I'm 34 and have been known to work my way through an entire color wheel each year. Jeannie, that sounds amazing. That sounds absolutely amazing. So I think it would be fun. People are also saying that Brad Mondo color line is very great for your hair and has vegan bond builders to repair your hair. Sandy, that's fantastic. So there we go. And then, no, I'm a stylist. See a professional who uses Pulp Riot color. It's amazing. That is fantastic advice. You guys, when we get closer to 100K, I'm going to have to hit you all up again. Because sometimes I just black out when I'm live and then I have to go back and watch and be like, what did we talk about? I know we talked about stuff, but I've got to figure out what color we talked about. So thank you. May said you have to be loyal to your artist. My artist would flip if I came in with somebody else's work on me. May, that's exactly right. And I just, look, getting tattooed is very personal. And then depending on where you get tattooed, it's like even more personal. So being able to work with somebody who you trust, and you trust as an artist, but trust as a person and trust how they run their business, is such an incredible thing. And one of the things I love is that Iron Horse not only does tattoos like your fun tattoos, but they also do and whatever, I get demonetized anyway, but they also do like really realistic nipple tattoos for people who have had breast cancer, reconstruction and things like that. So they really bring a lot of good in the tattoo industry too, and really are advocates for their industry. And I just cannot say enough how much I adore them. And you can find them all over social media at Iron Horse. because I absolutely love their heart. And when Vegas went through their shooting, they were doing Vegas Strong Tattoo fundraisers and things to support their community. They have my heart, and they're Disney nerds, which always makes me happy because we talk about Star Wars and Disney and all the things. I love seeing you guys love Peter. We love Peter. It's so much fun. Teresa, hello. Arctic Fox has been recently in the news for anti-LGBTQ plus comments. And that is once again, stuff I'm not aware of, which is why I love the Law Nerds, because we can outsource our knowledge base and say, hey, be aware that this is happening. So thank you. Shay Shay, my nephew's godfather, is the #1 tattoo artist in Canada. That's amazing. That's a very cool thing. Tattoos are so fun. Port Wanami. Port Wanami. I say things wrong all the time. It's Thumper. Thank you so much. I'm sorry you had to super chat it to get me to pronounce it right. Thank you. You guys, I'm telling you, this pineapple booch is fantastic. Just turned 41 and have dyed my hair deep blue for a while. I love that. Love that. 41 was an age I was very fond of. We've missed it. But one of my favorite Dave Matthews songs is 41 because I'm basic and I love it. And I'm not ashamed. Maybe just a little bit. But so when I turned 41, I was like, we're 41. We're finally on it. Oh, right. Passenger shaming. If you don't color your hair on video, I'm filing a lawsuit. I will definitely vlog the experience. I mean, I'm probably going to go to a salon. I'm probably not going to do it like here myself. A, I'll probably mess it up. B, I might accidentally like dye my new bathroom, which is all very light gray. I might accidentally dye my bathroom purple. And Mr. Badass would not be okay with me if I accidentally dyed all of our grout purple or something, which I'm very likely to do. So ask Nick for coloring. He dyes his hair blue. However, the brand owner. Thank you. And I'll have to go check out Dustin's video on it. See, you guys, you keep me knowing the things and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. It's Thumper. And thank you for your support. You guys are so fun. Once again, when I say the chat jumps, it's because there's almost 4,000 people in here. Just read a Facebook response to a user lawsuit. Fascinating. I haven't even gotten into the Facebook stuff yet. There is so much else. I'm so ready to move on to other types of lawsuits and to other lawsuits. And then shit keeps happening. Like normally, here's how it goes. Normally there's like a filing and then there's a break and then there's a response and then there's a break. And then there's like shit that happens in court and then there's a break and then discovery happens. And then 6 months later, you come back to it. That's what I was expecting with the Tati lawsuit. Like, here's the business partner lawsuit. Here's the defamation suit. Eventually, there will be an answer. And in both cases, there are now both motions to dismiss. Great. Let's address the motions to dismiss. And then normally there's just another answer. But there's so much ancillary shit happening all over the social medias that there's not even a chance to slow down with it. It's wild. I have never seen anything like it. And the only reason we're talking about it again today is because Saltzy gave some indication that shit was going to be filed. It's going to be filed, I'm sure, next week. We're going to go through his Twitter and I'll tell you what I think about it. Matt Bond, I don't care who sticks it. I need someone to draw it. Still looking for someone to draw a custom minion. We have so many artists in the chat, Matt Bond. I have seen amazing art. So if you want to work within the Law Nerds community, I would just ask around with them. They're so good. The amazing talent here. Question: when you do a shout out like Tattoo Shop, do you give them a heads up slot that eyes are coming their way? No, I had no intention of getting into it. It just was the natural conversation today. But after I get off stream, I will message Allie and let her know so she can see it if she wants to see it. But yes, I will absolutely let her know. But no, I don't. I normally just talk about things I love as they come to mind, unless it's a sponsorship or something like that. And then, of course, there is knowledge in advance. But I really do freely share the things I love. Thank you, Melissa Dean. Punky, another vote for Punky Color. You guys are great. My tattoo my tattooist is licensed with LucasArts. That's impressive. I love that. I would imagine that that's because they do so many tattoos in the Star Warsy realms. Shaz, that's very, very, very cool. Hello, Boobless. Question: when is a collab with Bia Lucille? You can do legal and Bia can do the metaphysical. I think that would be so much fun. I will message her and be like, this would be so much fun. It would be fun. She is so talented. So that would be fun. That would be fun. But I don't know. We haven't talked about it. Hello, Shay Shay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Loved your comment, meant so much. TED Talk. I loved my TED Talk. It was fun. It was fun to do. Yikes, my chat jumped on me again. Okay, I've got to go up to the top because I'm not going to get all of everything. I'm so happy I'm not the only 41 who wants to dye my hair crazy colors. You're not. And you know what? Age is like whatever. It's just, we don't have to just not dye our hair. When I was in high school, my high school water polo coach, his son also played at the same time I was playing. Hello, Nolans. But his mom would come. So the guy who was roughly my age's grandmother, and she had purple hair and it was amazing. And I was like, I love it. I love like the like all gray kind of purple toned hair. It was fabulous. And trust me, my hair is going to continue to be crazy colors until I am old as well, because why not? All right, let's hop into, thank you, Yara. Happy New Year. Appreciate your channel. Is so insanely much. Thank you. Ever going to go over the Reynolds pamphlet? Yes, I am. I have been behind. I have been behind on my recordings for the ASMR channel, but the Reynolds pamphlet is happening on the ASMR channel for sure. I'm going to do a whole reading of it. Question: do you think Tati is off social media due to these lawsuits? I have lots of thoughts about it. I think it would be hard to come back with all this going on and not address it. I think she doesn't want to address it. I also think strategically there's some leverage in her not being on social media because the business partner suit with Swanson, one of the goals is to keep Halo making money. And when she is not promoting products, I'm sure Halo is not doing as well. So it might also be leverage to encourage conversation in that lawsuit. However, if I were Tati and the lawsuit starts out with this is a lawsuit over the defendant's greed, I would be disinclined to hop back on social until it was resolved. A, because I'm petty, and B, because I would just be mad. And until you can address it and be like, I know you guys want to know, but this is resolved. Until you can really do that, it would be very hard to come back on after the break that she's had. If she was continuing to be on, it would be one thing. But if she, because there was that break, it'd be very hard to come back to social in the midst of two lawsuits, not address them and keep moving. Because you guys see it happening. It's what people want to know about. And because there's so much happening with the other side in the defamation suit, I think if it was just the business partner suit, there might be strategic reasons there, but it would be easier to come back and be like, the business is in the middle of a lawsuit. We're not addressing it. And we're just moving on. But with how much is going on in the defamation suit because of KJ's continued actions on social media, it would be very hard, I think, for Tati to be on social media and not address it. And so I think it's kind of easier to just be off of social media. There might be strategy there for her attorneys as well, because I'm sure it's been a conversation and probably more than one. It would be very hard, I think, if I were Tati, to sit and watch everything going down and not be able to address it. Coconut, can we get courtroom analysis videos from you? Would love to see some high profile cases. If the contemporaneous stuff slows down, yes, we can go over some older stuff. But as God, look, there is I have a back list, but I would love to. And as I move more into full-time content creation, there will be more time for more videos, planned videos, and uploaded videos, in addition to our live schedule that is not going anywhere because I love it and it's my favorite. Thank you, Sydney, because I love being here with you guys. Texas Nurse, thank you. I'm 32 with lavender gray hair. I get so many compliments. I bet, because it's so fun. Like, look, if these stripes continue to go, I'm okay letting my silver get purpley. I'm totally down for it. Star Walker, who knew so many law nerds are into tats and hair dye? My people, my people. I love you. It's a fun, diverse group. We're not all going to be put in a box. We are a unique group of nerds that just want to do the things. So, absolutely. All right, I missed things. Sorry, you guys. That, as I said, when we get into the 4,000 people, the chat just like it scrolls, and I want to go back and make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Could the Girardi's legal issues be mentioned on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Like when Camille mentioned Dorit and PK's. There are no legal reasons it can't be mentioned. There might be behind the scenes conversation, but I've recently seen reports that the divorce will be talked about. So I don't know if Erica will try to talk about the divorce and not about the other stuff. So we are going to see. I don't know enough about what's going on with Hilaria Baldwin to comment. So I don't know. Question, can Tati's silence not be seen as damages due to KJ's harassment? It depends on how they argue it, and it depends on the reason. So, of course, us discussing it is conspiracy speculation, right? It is, we're going to have to start going with, it is building monuments to the gods of speculation when we're like, it could be this, it could be that. It depends on what the heart of the reason is, but she was offline before these lawsuits even started. So it just depends on the reason. They have said, Tati's team has said in the filings that part of her damages in this was the intentional infliction of emotional distress and the negligent infliction of emotional distress. So there is obviously an argument saying, because it continues to be talked about, because there's this continued kerfuffling on social, that it continues to add to the stress of it, because it is lots of jabs being taken about the case. From my perspective, it is tweets and deletes and Twitter's up and Twitter's down. It's a lot of shit going on. And then very long videos talking about the case, talking about, it's really hard to prove defamation. So there's quite a lot going on. So yeah, it might just continue to be very, very stressful for Tati to not be able to come back because she can't address it and shouldn't address it at this point, I don't think. And so how do you navigate that? And that's something she and her lawyers are absolutely going to have to discuss when we get to that point. But we are so far from there. So far from there. Besides retirement, silver hair rocks. I'm loving being old. Stitching with the sister lies. That's amazing. And I love it. Trisha A. I can be petty. Look, I try not to be petty. If I'm going to be petty, I will tell you that I'm being petty. I am self-aware. I will say this is me being petty. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Have you ever thought of doing a mock court with Uncivil and Nate? I don't know if they'd want to do a mock court with me. I don't know. I like breaking down cases. I don't know if we need to do mock court. I mean, not to say I wouldn't. Rumor has it Tom Girardi's firm was a sole proprietorship, no corporate laws, right? So if it is a sole proprietorship, there are definitely some different rules, but it doesn't mean that he could get off. The criminal investigation on this is going to be real because there's a lot of options out there for it. So even if he's a sole proprietorship, it just means he's a bit personally less protected. But we do know that he was also personally guaranteeing a lot of the debts. So I would need to pull up, and I will the next time I do an update on them, I'll pull the corporate documents on Girardi Keese and take a look, because the business partner is suing him, but the business had changed after the partner came out. And I saw Creepshow. See, I missed a few super chats. Hello, Creepshow. And I missed, what else did I miss? I missed a few. Where did I miss? Lori Smith, Happy New Year, and fellow law nerds. I hope you have a wonderful new year. I'm sorry I couldn't pull it up. It jumped in the chat, but thank you for the generous super chat. I appreciate it. And Creepshow, I see yours in here too. It's good to see you. Vicky, I'm an ICU RN here in Nashville. I recently colored my hair purple and love it. I get a ton of compliments. 49 and can't wait to see you do it. Thank you. And thank you for all you do. I'm sure working in the ICUs right now in Nashville is quite busy. And quite stressful. So thank you. I mean, for everyone, for what you do. It is, for the first responders, I have very close friends that work in nursing homes. It has been a very stressful year for y'all. It's been stressful for everyone, but the extra level of like caregiving and stress, I can't even imagine. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And Creepshow, good to see you. I need to see you with purple hair immediately. I promised at 100K we are doing purple hair. So it's coming. It just might take we're not at 400K yet, Creepshow. I don't know what color we'll do for that. We're probably a ways away, but congratulations to you and your channel. It's so fun. My son, Creepshow, I was thinking of you. He doesn't watch your videos because, 12, but he has started doing drawing videos for his friends where he voiceovers them. And I'm like, are you enjoying it? He goes, I really just like being able to draw and then voice over it and share with my friends. So he's definitely taken inspiration, and I've showed him clips of what you do because he gets offended by the cursey word sometime. And Travis, if you're in the chat, it's good to see you. Cursey words, cursey words. Tickled Pink Music says, I am a trial junkie and watching the Conrad Murray trial again. It's my all-time favorite trial. Do you know Miss Brazil, the prosecutor? I don't know her personally, but do know of her. So if that helps. All right. Christopher, we talked about that. Okay. Let me go to Sassiness on Twitter because otherwise we are just going to be stuck into questions and then I will come back to questions. So let's get stuck into Twitter real quick. Pink Flamingo said unicorn hair for 400,000. I think unicorn hair is a great idea. I'm also amenable to rainbow hair, but I'm going to have to figure out how I want to do it without bleaching my hair. Let's go ahead and back. We are like 45 minutes in. I don't know how we got in so far chatting, but we are. Rainbow hair at 400K. Somebody make a note. Mods, just write it down that we're absolutely doing it. So absolutely. Oh, you guys, and did I see you guys talking about Nick? Are we still talking about him because he dyed his hair, or did Nick pop in too? I'm sorry, Nick, with 4,200 people, if I didn't see you pop in. I adore you. Congratulations on your engagement. I love you guys so much. Let's hop over to sassy Twitter shit because it's time. It's time to talk about Saltzy being salty on the Twitters, and then I will come back to questions. So by way of catching up briefly about, let me pull this up because now I'm distracted. Here's why I'm distracted. I'm just going to show you why I'm distracted because I totally forgot that Shiny Ho-Oh is back in raids. And the second I open my Twitter, people are catching Pokemon that I don't have yet. And I'm like, that's a hundo Shiny Ho-Oh. And I'm distracted. So this is why I don't pull up Twitter until I'm absolutely ready to talk. Well, I mean, look at this. 100% Ho-Oh. I have not raided in quite a while in Pokemon Go, and I'm sad and I miss it. So So, stitching. Yes, I'm working on sourcing them. That kind of stuff takes a little bit more time to source. And for you guys saying who's Nick, Nick Schneider is with The Viewer's Voice, and he also has a couples channel with his fiance Dustin Daly. They are definitely the sassy bitches. Well, some of the sassy bitches of the commentary community. All right, let me pull up Saltzy's Twitter and give you guys the background because otherwise I'm just going to get like distracted by that hundo ho-oh in my Twitter feed. Here's the background. Tati's got the two lawsuits, business partner suit, defamation suit. In the defamation suit, she is suing the Without a Crystal Ball KJ channel here up on the YouTubes. They filed the complaint, so Tati's the one suing. Tati files the complaint after 4 cease and desists over 18 months. We now know that because it's mentioned in their most recent response. It's also been mentioned by KJ in her chatting about this case on social and YouTube. So there is a lot of background, but the complaint alleges a lot of different statements and videos in a written article, in tweets and things like that that are alleged to be defamatory against Tati, her husband, and Halo as the business. After the suit was filed, shit went down. comments were deleted. It looks like tweets were deleted. And so Saltzy, the attorney for Tati, filed a motion, as we call it, to not delete your shit, but a motion to preserve evidence, saying, hi, you've been sued with a lawsuit. There's a preservation notice, and then there's an obligation to preserve as well. You were made aware of that. You didn't do that. No, we're not doing this. Preserve your shit. Do not delete your shit. That ended up being resolved by a stipulation between the parties. A stipulation between the parties means the attorneys got together and went, this is how this is going to go. We can do it this way. When we do it this way, this is what we agreed to. And I will pull that up. Let me get that pulling up, because I will pull that up because that's going to be relevant to our discussion. Should I have pulled it up before I started talking? Yep. Did I? Nope. But I will now. So that stipulation says what they agreed to with regards to shit being deleted. Then KJ's side filed a motion to dismiss, not a response. So with a lawsuit, you have the lawsuit and then you answer the lawsuit, but legal shit can happen before you answer the lawsuit. Part of that is jurisdiction. Can you sue the person in the place where you're suing them? And can the court hear it, whether it's the subject, whether it's the person, things like that? So the motion to dismiss is, hey, you don't have jurisdiction over me and my business. We're in Minnesota. You're in Washington. Fuck off. And these are also things that are not properly alleged, so the court can just go ahead and dismiss them. That's the two parts. There's the jurisdiction part of the motion to dismiss, like, you can't do this here. And then there's the, hey, these aren't pled appropriately. With regard to the 12b6, I don't think it's going to fly. I don't think it's going to get far. It often doesn't. That's not uncommon. It's one of those legal procedure things that you kind of throw it against the wall, but it generally isn't going to stick. So with regards to the 12b6, I don't think any of those charges are going to be dismissed. The big issue there is the jurisdictional issue. Since that happened, and that was filed like literally the 23rd at midnight, like right at the turn of midnight on Christmas Eve. And so we went over that in videos. They're up on the channel. We talked about it in lives. And after that, stuff has continued to happen on social. So now there is a stipulation and there's a pending motion. There were declarations in those motions regarding supporters. One of the supporters, a woman named Mallory, has, it looks like, deleted her Twitter, but we know that she and KJ were having DMs. So if those DMs are deleted, that goes against the stipulated order, because DMs are part of the order to preserve, the order not to delete your shit. So the order not to delete your shit becomes even more relevant because of what happened over the last, I don't even know, day and a half. It's been the holidays. I've been trying not to pay attention, but then shit keeps happening. So let's pull up this stipulation so that it's all front of mind what the stipulation to not delete your shit says. So we're all on the same page. Let's make it big so we can see it. I'm going to pull it over here, make this screen bigger, and then we will talk about this and then get into Twitter and then get back to questions. Okay. Stipulated order. And this, if you go to Pacer now, proposed is lined out and the judge has signed it. I did not re-download it because, same. This goes through the statement of it. The statement says essentially, hey, we've asked you to preserve. There's a duty to preserve. And KJ's side is saying, we're not admitting, that we've deleted anything, but we agree that we shouldn't delete things. So the order from the court, this is now a court order because it's been signed, that defendant KJ and WACB are hereby ordered to preserve all published content within their custody, shit that they've done, or control, shit that they can control, that they know or have reason to know is either relevant to this matter or could reasonably be expected to lead to the discovery of relevant information in this matter. If I were under this order, or if I had a client under this order, I would say do not touch anything, because this is very broad, as it necessarily needs to be. I'm no shade that it's broad. It's broad, but any super chat that's deleted, any comment that's deleted, anything could reasonably be expected to lead to the discovery of relevant information, unless it's like, I think so-and-so Duggar is dumb. But even then, if you delete it and don't have a screenshot of what you've deleted or don't have a way to preserve what you've deleted, there's no way for Saltzy's side to know that. So they're immediately going to go to, well, what the fuck did it say? You can't delete shit, because we have no way to know if it could lead to relevant evidence, because it is know or have reason to know it's relevant to this matter or reasonably be expected to lead to discovery of relevant information. And that can also go to things like jurisdiction. That can also go to things like damages. Someone saying, oh, I used to follow Tati and I don't anymore, is something that can lead to a witness that goes to damages. So this covers a lot of stuff. Let's see what it says. This is without limitation. So this is not an exclusive list. This is the beginning of the list. Social media content on any internet platform, including but not limited to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube. Videos, all live chats and streams, including live videos on Instagram stories. Comments on social media posts and videos. Defendant KJ and WACB are hereby ordered to preserve all published content within their custody or control that they know or have reason to know is either relevant or could reasonably be expected, without limitation. Direct and or instant messages sent to or received by defendants, and emails, text messages, phone messages, or any other form of recorded communication sent or received by defendants. This is literally everything short of recording a face-to-face conversation you have. I am not clear what face-to-face conversations KJ has, because they mostly seem to play out on the internet in a recorded format. So they would all need to be preserved. This order does not preclude plaintiffs from seeking discovery sanctions. That means if you do shit, or if we can prove that you've done shit before this order, we can seek discovery sanctions, money damages, pay the man, money damages, and also can come in the way of jury instructions, meaning the jury is told this party did this and it damaged the case of that party. I have seen jury instructions similar to this in criminal. Juries do not like it. Like the delay of discovery information, if you get a jury instruction that says this party delayed discovery to the other party in a way that could have been detrimental, jurors are like, the fuck are you talking about? What did you do? That's not cool. Like, why wouldn't you just do the shit you're supposed to do? Jurors do not like it. They have a very low tolerance for fuckery, because once you're in front of a jury, the jury's like, why aren't people just doing what they're supposed to do? I don't like it. It's funny the hive mind that happens with a jury. This order does not preclude discovery sanctions from being sought, and nothing contained herein is a waiver of either party's right to respect to seeking or resisting discovery. That means that just because you preserve it doesn't mean you automatically get it. This is why preservation of evidence matters in a case, because then you go through the discovery process. Some stuff might not be properly discoverable, but if it's deleted, then you never know. And the presumption goes to, if you deleted it, it was probably helpful to the other side. So then there needs to be some compensation for that, or if it goes against a court order, punishment for that behavior. And this is why the shit popping off on Twitter that I have just moved to the wrong tab. This is why this shit happening on Twitter today is so consequential. So let's just pull it up, because I want to talk about it. Y'all want to talk about it. And then we're going back to questions. And then hopefully, until something's filed, we're not talking about this. Something's going to be filed next week. It's going to have to be. I want to be done, y'all. I want to be done. I need a break. I need a break from KJ and Twitteriness of all of the things. All right, so we've pulled up. Saltzy is Tati's attorney. Saltzy and I have chatted on the Twitters. You guys have seen it. So there was a clip. Here's what Saltzy said 9 hours ago. If anyone has more recordings of KJ on our IG account like this, especially with the chat comments on, please get them to us, identifying their date, the name of the video, if any, and the timestamp of any topics or statements that you believe we may find of interest, because you guys have been really forthcoming towards Saltzy on Twitter. But these clips talking about this stuff, and I'm going to turn off, these clips talking about stuff like this can come up in this case because it can come up for relevancy to jurisdiction, and the case can be talked about in this way, but also because there's a preserve notice. If this video doesn't show up in discovery, if this video is gone without the comments, then it goes directly against the order. And so then we've got all of the conversation. I don't know if this was kept up. Let's see. It disappears when she's done. So here's the thing with Instagram, though. You guys know this. If you record an Instagram live, you have the option to save it, but then it doesn't save the comments. And you guys just saw the notice to preserve, which says you have to save the comments, which means you can't just take them down. So I imagine we're going to get a OSC, which is an order to show cause regarding contempt because of the violation of the order within the next week. Let's see if Saltzy said anything else. In the clip, so she says she's deliberately doing what she's doing. Weird strategy, do you think? Saltzy says deliberately doing what? Was she referring to deliberately being live nonstop all day, every day? Shade. Away from family and friends and life? More shade. Was she referring to her regularly making statements helpful to our case? Lawyer shade. What was the context of the statement? Video timestamp. And I think it's on the IG video, but I'm not sure. So that's why he was asking for clarification. On IG, it's gone. She doesn't do this on YouTube. She doesn't want her subs. So that's their opinion on this. Saltzy says, thank you. I don't understand what this content is. Is this hostile content normally on her Instagram? How would you describe the category of this content? So he's like, what is even happening on Instagram? And asking for clarification from the audience, which is, hey, what is happening on Instagram? Probably because what I gathered from these comments is that she goes live on Instagram and then you catch it live and then it immediately goes down, except for people who screen record it. And he's trying to figure out if she is popping off about the case or deleting comments about the case because that goes against the order. So then let's get back in. There are more. There was so much yesterday. Like, I don't know what y'all did yesterday. I'm sure Saltzy did a lot of this, but there is just a lot. All right, let's see. KJ said in her declaration that she does not derive income from Washington, but this video shows Lorianne from Washington is a paid subscriber and KJ's best friend. Does anyone else have any other examples of videos containing super chats from Lorianne pre-1030? So this video, I'm assuming, is where it has that clip. I've seen the screenshot going around. And then there were more comments about a motion being filed, but I imagine what we're going to get based on all of this is an updated motion with regards to the additional behavior and any statements made in additional videos, and then a motion for contempt, asking the court to find KJ in contempt. If that happens, I imagine what will be asked for is either her Twitter be preserved by Twitter and then she not have access to it, it be deactivated so that this kind of stuff can't continue to happen, that her lawyer take control of it, that the court order a gag order of some sort where she cannot be on social in any way. So there's a lot of options there for the court. And so much has happened pre-litigation that the court might just be like, what? That order was signed like not even a month ago. Are you kidding me? Because we saw the way that Saltzy brought receipts in the motions or the responses to the motion to dismiss. I imagine that's what you will see in an order to show cause, where they're going to just lay out KJ for these types of behaviors in direct contradiction to the order to preserve evidence from what I've seen. And then there was another thing I got tagged in a bunch where KJ was talking about her lawyer. So let me pull that one up too, because I got questions on it already. And so Crabby Pants over on Twitter, thank you for tagging me. I've gotten tagged a couple times in this, but we might as well just address it because it's coming up. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of this tonight. Happy New Year from Faye. This is just a screenshot from KJ's Twitter. Also, quit with your advice about my life and anything going on legally with me. It's fair. I mean, no one needs to do not give her legal advice. She has an attorney for that. I can speak about whatever I want. And guess what? My actions don't concern any of you, period. My lawyer said I can do my job. Stop acting like I can't. Okay. Here's the thing. We've talked about this before, but when you make statements about what your lawyer has said to a third party, and that can be to an individual third party, it waives attorney-client privilege. Attorney-client privilege is between the lawyer and the client. The client can waive it. There's very limited circumstances where the attorney can waive it that aren't relevant here. But the client can waive that through their own actions, including statements like this. What does that mean? That means if we do have a contempt hearing and she has waived attorney-client privilege, her attorney can now become a witness in the contempt hearing saying, did you tell her to not get the fuck off on Twitter? I mean, that's not the way they're going to phrase it. This is Emily's paraphrasing of how this is going to go. So in your head, you can turn it into professional legal language, but it can be that her attorney can be questioned about this because she has now opened up attorney-client privilege by saying, my lawyer said I can do this. Okay. Well, now we get to ask your lawyer in this contempt hearing, did your lawyer say it was okay to delete comments? Did your lawyer say it was okay to go live and not preserve it? Did your lawyer say it was okay to do? Because now the lawyer will have to come up and testify because she has waived the privilege. The lawyer can't waive the privilege, but the client sure can. And once the client waives it, the door has been blown off the fucking barn and you can't put it back. This is the shit out of the horse again. And we've seen comments like this. I saw the screenshots when she was talking about Aaron Hall, her previous attorney, her business attorney, before she brought on the Washington firm, saying, my lawyer said this, my lawyer said my case looks good. And I talked about this with regard to the screenshots in Saltzy's response. Let me pull those up and show you the screenshots I was talking about in Saltzy's response. Where is the response? I have so many filings in this case. It's so early. It's so early in this case to have this many filings. Where is it? Where is my Saltzy response to there it is. So many filings already, you guys. All right, let's pull up the screenshot that I am thinking of, and I'm going to chat while I scroll through, and then I'm going to get back to answering your questions. But the screenshots in James's declaration, y'all, was full of stuff. It had the screenshots in it. All right, look, I used everybody who lovingly reminds me to use Control F. I want a gold star. I've used Control F. I need a gold star. Like, I need recognition. Gold star, Emily, gold star. Okay, Declaration of James Westbrook. Damn it. See, and then I lost it. All right, let's do this one more time. Now we know it's not very far down. Because his declaration had the screenshots in it that we're talking about Washington that I want to pull up. Declaration of Tati. Declaration of James. All right, let's make this a little bigger. Let's pull up the screenshot. Not the it's just facts one. That is going to continue to come up. I also, if any of y'all are YouTubers, I just squirreled for a second. James does an excellent breakdown of like revenue streams on YouTube and how it all works. I actually was reading this going, oh, I understand more about CPMs. Like, thanks, James. He really did break down, like, he runs his wife's 9 million subscriber YouTube channel and really broke down the kind of workings of YouTube. So for anyone who's into YouTube, I'm sure that I'm fucking Rakin has these linked up on the Twitters, so you can go read this declaration for yourself. It really does break down the business of YouTube really well. I learned things. I was very excited to read it and learn things. Look at what the different CPM rates were. I was fascinated. I learned lots of things. So again, this is mostly going to jurisdiction. Can KJ and her business, Minnesota residents, come to Washington and have a Washington court preside over them? So this shows contacts with Washington, which is one of the arguments here. But it also gets into her contacts with Lori Ann, which I'm pretty sure this is the redacted out home address. showing that she knew. So this is going to her contradicting her own declaration. But where is the screenshot I'm thinking of? Oh, maybe it's in the next declaration. Darn it. I thought it was in this one. I think it's in the next one, the one about Lorianne. All right, let me scroll. Let me scroll without y'all having to put up with me scrolling while my computer is not populating pages. Because it showed the DMs. It's the one where it showed Nate in the DMs too. So I'm letting that pull up. I'm going to check for a few questions. Make sure. Oh, I missed things because my chat just jumped. Lynn says I paraphrase in the exact same manner. See, it's that what the fuck paraphrasing. It's like, but what about this and what about that? Okay, here we go. I found the screenshot I was looking for, and then I'll go back and get to some of the super chats that jumped out. We have 4,600 law nerds up in here. So let me know where we're at with the thumbs uppies things. And thank you guys for all of my gold stars for using Control F, which is the search function. It helps so much. So I can search by things. All right. Let us pull this up. So as we dive down into here, this was this had Nate the lawyer, this was so Nate on the live stream explained that he has been unfriended, as it were. He was told goodbye, but this was before that. Ink and Pearls, why do I know that username? I feel like I didn't the last time I went through that, but I know that username now. Did something go down? Was she making comments about BX Beast Boy in a stream? I feel like I know that username now. And then Kat, who is a reporter, but I think this says my attorney said we have no comment. But as we get into my attorney said, I was like, if that's all that says, that's fine. If that says more, that can also waive privilege. But of course, all of these DMs are something that one would expect to see in discovery when we get there. So that's why I wanted to pull up this particular screenshot, because again, we're talking about my attorney. So those types of things can waive attorney-client privilege. And my phone is blowing up. You guys in the chat, if anybody follows KJ's husband, did he delete his Instagram? I don't know at all. So anyway. It's time. It's time for more drinks. So yeah, I expect sometime next week we're going to see a contempt motion. Let me answer some questions. We want to answer questions because that's what we were Q&A streaming. It's like an hour and 12 minutes in and it's time to Q&A shit. Those shit jumped. All right, let me see what I missed, because the mods, you guys are so great at letting me know what I have missed and letting me know the things. All right, let's see. What did I miss? All right. Super stickers. Thank you guys for the super stickers. I appreciate them. Words from Guy said, watching the live and separating mail at the same time. I mean, I talk long enough that it's a perfect time to separate mail and do other things. So let's get into all of your questions. We got that one. Liz says, oh man, if she reps herself, there's no microwaves or pots big enough in the world for all the popcorn I'm going to need to make. I hope that doesn't happen. Emilio said, what does it get waived when a person said my lawyer says I can't make a comment? So generally, if that's just it, you would say we have no comment. Every time you start with my lawyer says, it can be problematic. I think courts would be more generous with my lawyer says we have no comment instead of just saying no comment. Look, if you guys are in a suit, never start anything with my lawyer says unless you want that to be, unless you knowingly want to open that door. But you can say we have no comment, or you can say contact my lawyer for comment. And then the lawyer can say themselves, we have no comment. It's that relating what a lawyer has said about anything that can open that door, and different judges will judge that differently. But saying my lawyer said I can do X blows the door off. It just absolutely blows the door off of attorney-client privilege. And I'm sure when her lawyer got that screenshot, there was a phone call, and that phone call involved I also imagine that when Saltzy saw it, he was just starting in his mind the list of questions that were going to be asked to Mr. Michael P. Brown about, did you tell your client not to delete evidence? Like, what exactly did you say about the stipulation? Like, how clear did you make, like, don't deactivate your Twitter and then reactivate your Twitter and don't delete comments and somebody else can't delete their account that might delete this, especially accounts that are related to you. Like, because now we're going to get to ask. I've never wanted to be a fly on a wall as much. But some of the federal cases have been posting the numbers for court call. Y'all, I will sit through a court call. If this is a court call, I will sit through a court call to tell y'all what was said. I will absolutely do it. Coding Roses said the court clerk has to be having a heyday with the what the fucks. So the clerks don't get it as much, but the research attorneys are just going to be like, no, you didn't. This is the kind of thing where if you're having lawyer talk, when I call my bestie up and I'm like, so let me tell you what's going on with this case, because she is in a very prestigious prosecution area. She deals with very difficult cases. Her victims are all children. I can't even talk about her cases in public because it's too traumatizing to everyone involved, myself included sometimes. But that is what she deals with. So when I called, I'm like, girl, let me tell you what's happening on Twitter. She's like, no, nope. And that's most of our conversation. I'm like, and she's like, no. It's like when you saw me talking to Uncivil and being like, so this is what Tom Girardi is alleged to have done. And he's like, no. Oh, no. Mm-mm. That's the lawyer conversations that are happening around this conversation. I imagine that Saltzy is constantly in communication with the other lawyers working on this case in his firm going, and now this, and now this, and now, no, I'm not drinking for New Year's Eve because now this, nope, now this, okay, now we're going to just start drinking, fuck it, it's been 2 hours, and now this, and now this. Can somebody screenshot this? Am I running out of room for screenshots? I bet you Saltzy has more screenshots than any drama commentator in the world. Yes, Peter Mon, I'm sure you have them. Adam, I'm sure you have them. Creep Show, I'm sure y'all have receipts to the heavens. But I guarantee you Saltzy has as many screenshots at this point because he absolutely has to. So let's continue getting into questions. It's good to see you guys saying hi to Adam. Happy New Year, Adam. Hopefully it's not too late for you. Oh, my chat jumped. Hopefully it's not too late. Creep Show, you are literally the only reason I can keep up with this since I'm off Twitter. Well, Creep Show, I will continue to be like, girl, this is what's going down on Twitter. Being off of Twitter is probably good for the mental health. I check into certain things on Twitter. I appreciate it when you guys DM me and tag me and stuff because I really don't see everything that happens. I do not stay on social a ton because 2 kids and life and stuff. But there's times when I'm seeing stuff going down and I'm just like, like when Twitter got deactivated and then reactivated, it's that alone's going to trigger this motion for contempt because it goes against what was said. And then it's my lawyer said I can. And I'm like, stop, please just stop. A judge is going to have things to say. And I think with how much has happened, it's not unreasonable for a judge to pull her off of social. Like that's not unreasonable with the amount of stuff. Even if it's like you can be on YouTube with regard to this and this and that, the judge could say no lives because if stuff has been deleted, the judge can say no Instagram, no Twitter, or can put her attorney in charge of Instagram and Twitter and say you're allowed to post promotional things that are work related only and nothing else. This could get very, very interesting. Very interesting. And what the 4,700 of you are going to take away is if you have a lawyer, the words my lawyer said does not come out of your mouth if you are in litigation. Look, if you are negotiating with someone, that is different. If you are hesitant about, well, my lawyer asked me to have you sign this, that's fine. But if you are in active litigation, my lawyer said should not come out of your mouth unless you are talking to your spouse. Otherwise, if you want to talk to the media about something, have them call your lawyer. That is what you are paying your lawyer for. Lawyers are trained in crafting sentences. I mean, it doesn't always seem that way with me sometimes. Like, I fucking get that. But when you're involved in a case, you think about what you say, and it is all very intentional because you know the long game in your head. Like, the strategy is there, so you don't generally just pop off. It's strategic. And the things that Saltzy says on Twitter are strategic to try to recover evidence that may or may not have been deleted. And because there are already people collecting receipts on KJ, it makes it a lot easier for him. He's just like, the receipts just kind of fly like cat. They're just like raining receipts. It's raining receipts. Thank you. I'm glad I'm perfect for knitting. I've been told I'm perfect for knitting and perfect for drawing. Long form content's what we do here, y'all. We can't keep it short. We're at an hour and a half. Who are we kidding? Todd's IG is public and his personal IG is private. Thank you, Ellie. We'll have to see. Young Fox, yes. Don't open the door. Once the shit's out of the horse, you got nothing but a mess. You can get a shovel, but the shit's already out of the horse. Is there a possibility of covering Logan Paul? Yes, there is, because I would love to talk about something other than defamation and jurisdiction. And I think there's an interesting argument there. I've only read the news reportings. I haven't pulled the documents, but it is on my list for next week. So yes, I do want to cover the Logan Paul stuff because it's going to have to get into how intentional it was that he posted it and if he knew what the backlash would be like. But how do you not know what the backlash is going to be? The Paul brothers, I do not love the Paul brothers. I do not love their antics. I do not love the way they do things. That is totally fine. Different opinions. They do not seem to be unintentional. What they do seems to be very intentionally crafted and strategic. It does not seem like anything that they put out there is a whoopsie. I mean, I think challenging Conor McGregor and calling him out and calling his wife ugly is probably not going to go well, but that's the other one. But I don't think the Suicide Forest stuff was an oopsie. I think that was an intentional choice. When you sit down to edit, you get an option. Like, you're not live streaming it. When you sit down to edit, you get another chance at it to go, maybe this is a bad idea. So there's a difficult argument. And from what I've read in the news coverage, not in the actual legal documents, the news coverage seems to indicate this was intentional. Our deal got yanked because YouTube went, oh, the fuck no, with nothing Logan Paul. We'll see you in a year. So it'll be very interesting to look back at it and see if see what the statute of limitations is on that, because that's been a number of years now. So anyway, it will be. I have a different scent. I'm going to answer this question, but hot tip. I've dropped things. I always do. This is the Laneige it's not a chapstick, but like, yes, chapstick, lip glowy balm is what they call it, but this smells like gummy bears. Here's the thing. When you put it on and have to wear a face mask, it makes your whole face mask smell like gummy bears. So instead of walking around just breathing in face mask air, you actually get to breathe in this delicious scent. And it has kept my kids very entertained. So when we go out, and we don't take our kids out a ton COVID, but we give it to them and then let them put their masks on, and they're like, it smells like gummy bears. And I'm like, yes. So I don't always love a scented product, but I do love this particular product. So KJ continually says she has never done anything criminal. If she is found to have lied, could that be criminal, aka perjury? Yes, it can be perjury. I talked about my experience prosecuting criminal perjury out of a civil case in the live stream with Nate and Uncivil, and I will try to timestamp. I'm going to just make I told you I'm ADD and I keep my literal notepad on my desk to make notes so I don't forget shit when my brain wanders. I will timestamp it. Stamp. Perjury story. That dude, when the judge found him guilty and he was going into custody, lost his ever-loving mind. I'll have to see if I can find the transcript. I got called very creative things. I have a few transcripts where I got called very creative things. So, you know, it happens when you're a prosecutor. People don't always like you. Can KJ catch criminal charges for her antics in this case? Now, here's the thing. We've talked about this before. You need to know your opponent when it comes to litigation. It's like if you're sitting down to play a game, you need to know who you're playing against. Saltzy has posted about, like, if there's ever an attorney that's going to help you catch criminal charges, it's going to be Saltzy. Here is why I say that. And there is another case I have found where this has happened too that we will talk about on another day because I need to read the whole thing. This guy thought he could threaten to sue my client. So this dude said, "I'm suing your client." And Saltzy was like, "Oh, that's my client. Let's look into this more. I will look at this more closely. Now I am attending his preliminary hearing setting for the alleged sex crimes he tried to hide." Emily interpretation. Client was probably female. This dude was threatening to sue client. Saltzy probably talked to client and realized there was all this other shit. And then there were probably other people as well. And so then he was like, let's talk to all these people. And then he said to a district attorney, because we know Saltzy also worked at the district attorney's office, "Hey, I have this. Y'all might want to take a look at this." Preliminary hearing is when you are starting the process for a criminal trial. Some cases I take personally, this is one. We will not stop pursuing him until justice is finally done. Can't stop, won't stop. So when you are fucking with the can't stop, won't stop litigator, who we know had somebody threaten to sue his client, and dude, this is a booking photo, and there is a criminal prosecution starting because preliminary hearing is the first step in criminal prosecution before you go and stand for trial. We are going to see an OSC, order to show cause, for civil contempt. But yes, perjury can be criminal. And this is why most attorneys say, hey, when it comes to being sued, we're not talking about it. Talk about something else. Talk about whatever else. Do not mention this at all. Do not talk about it. Say, yeah, I can't talk about it. If that's all you guys want to talk about, go. Because we'll be here talking about these topics, not that thing. Not that thing. Not that thing. On advice of counsel, Victoria generally works better than my lawyer said. On advice of counsel, I have no comment. Sometimes, though, sometimes it can be problematic. Sometimes it's better to just say, if you are in active litigation, there are always different circumstances, I have no comment. I cannot speak on that. If you would like more information, please contact my lawyer. That's why they are there. If you do not have a PR firm, the lawyer, contact my lawyer. They have a website. Question, is there a court date or a date for another response? Marissa, yes, there should be I think we're going to get off track because I think there's going to be an OSC, but there will be a response from KJ's team, an answer to the response. Motion to dismiss, which is, hey, you don't have jurisdiction over me, or hey, these weren't pled wrong. Really, the jurisdiction is the main question. Saltzy gets to respond. So motion to dismiss, response, and there will be an answer from KJ's side and then a court date. Let's see what else. There are more questions. I want to make sure that I find them because I'm way behind. Unrelated, your nails are goals. Gel dip acrylic. They are gel, and I like going with sparkles, and I really just enjoy dark colored nails and an accent nail, which is, something that I, again, didn't do when I was a DA, because back in the day, it was something that was not as common as it is now. So anyway, yes, I do my nails while Emily's lives and replays are on because I won't mess my nails up. See, because you've got long enough, you don't have to switch to another video. We're here. If KJ keeps not preserving her streams like this, could a judge order her arrested for violating the court orders? It would be really uncommon and unlikely. It would be more likely that they would take away the socials, so it wouldn't be a problem. There can also be fines, but we will see what happens. There will definitely be. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be. I mean, I know BX says he's a petty bear. I get a feeling. Look, if you looked at Saltzy's Instagram at all, there's a picture of him dressed as a Slytherin. I'm just saying there is plenty of opportunity to file an order to show cause for contempt. I mean, I would be working on it tonight. I'm sure that he was working on it yesterday. Like, Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve. This is happening. And then there were hours of lives. Ambulance girl, can things she said and her attacks against people that show her true character go against her? It just depends on how the arguments come down and what's brought up. There are lots of ways stuff like that can come up. It's just going to depend. The thing about defamation is there are things in defamation like, reckless disregard for the truth and malice and things like that. So perhaps it just depends on how it goes. If part of the defense is attacking Tati's character, then it will definitely open more doors to attack KJ's character. There are lots of ways that can go, and a lot of that's strategic and very far down the line from now, because that's all trial stuff. I know you love the word bestie, Adam. I always talk about my bestie being my bestie. And I love the way you say bestie, because your accent is way more fun when you say it than when I say it. So let me see. Truth is like good old Saltzy. Look, Saltzy is not going to disappoint in this case. The thing we're all going to take away from this is that Saltzy is not going to disappoint, and he's going to need his own merch by the end of the day. People are going to be like, oh, Saltzy's most famous client is Ryan's Toy Reviews. Not anymore. I think Saltzy's going to eclipse it, because we all love a sassy footnote. We love, building monuments to the gods of speculation. Look, if this case is going to play out on social media, I'm fucking here for it. I'm here for it. And if it stopped, like, here's the thing. This is why I'm like torn. I'm of two minds. Like, for KJ, it's best for her to just not address this at all. That's, I think, best for her case. For Saltzy, it's best for him that she keeps talking, because shit keeps popping out that he's going to use. But also, it's a lot more work and more money for his client and for KJ as well. But if KJ wasn't streaming on Instagram and then it disappeared, Saltzy would have no reason to be on Twitter saying, does anybody have a screen recording of this? He's allowed to gather evidence on social media where stuff is being put up and later removed. So if that wasn't happening, he would have no reason to talk about the case, because he can't just pop off and be like, well, I think this shit is dumb. I mean, of course he can talk about other stuff because you're allowed to talk, but not about the case. And he wouldn't have anything to say about the case if all the other stuff wasn't going on. So, because KJ hasn't stopped, it does give us a gift of sassy Saltzy on the Twitter. So, decide what you want with that about if you hope that continues to happen or not. But we're just going to see. At some point, this judge could just say, no fucking way, we're not doing this, because I'm not going to be in here every other week with contempt proceedings. We're going to adhere to this ruling, and if it happens again, you're not getting your social. Or the judge could be like, no, we're not doing this. The attorney needs to take control of her socials. Or the judge just needs to say, no, here's an order to freeze to Twitter, and an order to freeze to YouTube, and an order to freeze to Instagram. Your accounts are frozen until this is done, and everything will be preserved that way. Diane, do you think her lawyer didn't tell her to not say my lawyer said? I don't know. I can't speculate. I don't know if this is a lawyer not saying or a client not listening. I don't know. But lawyers generally sit down and say, these are our boundaries. Adhere to them closely and be cautious. And yes, SW9MM2, it is generally one of the things that they will advise you of is how to not step in it. So we're not talking about all the tattoos today, Adam, but this one is a butterfly. I'm like losing where my camera is, and it's very hard to see. I'll have to put pictures of them on IG or Twitter, but it says, give me scars to bring me grace, which is A, the story of my life, and B, a Dave Matthews Band quote. This is my family. They are it's a figure 8, and then my husband and I and my 2 kids, and the flowers are slightly different colors for them. There will be a new one here, and then I have a giant fire dancer. Well, it's not giant. I wish it was bigger. I have a fire dancer on my back. I have a very 90s era tramp stamp on my back because it was the 90s and it was a great idea. And the gymnastics team was going out of state from Massachusetts to get tattoos in Vermont over Easter. And I was like, I want to go get tattoos in Vermont over Easter. So I went with the dudes on the gymnastics team to go get I have like tribal waves on my lower back. And then I have a tattoo on my hip that I'm going to cover up. And it's going to be a Star Wars tattoo. I also want to get one on the back of my neck. We have lots of tattoos planned. My husband is like, so we're not done with tattoos? I'm like, oh, never. We are never done with tattoos. Pharaoh, I don't know if there would be much to talk about legal wise, but did you catch the Lindsay Ellis Alpha Omega thing? I have heard about it. I have not gotten into all of it. It is on my list to cover because people keep asking me about it. So it is on my list. It is on my list. So it is on my list. Haley McGinnis, is there any way Tati and Saltzy are using this to set precedent to go after other bigger fish next? Like, I don't know, starfish and shame. I think, and Haley, the monuments to the gods of speculation. I think that with regard to the bigger fish, there has probably either been conversation or a decision to do or not to do, or waiting to see what would happen because the situation just kind of died. This situation never died from what I can gather looking back at it after this suit was filed. There were cease and desist and the situation never slowed down. And I think that's part of why. I don't know if the suspected interplay with the business partner suit is also a consideration or a strategic consideration here. It very well could be, but I don't think they're trying to set precedent. I think they're really trying to get the shit to stop. Like, I really think they're just trying to get KJ to shut the fuck up. I really think that's what, like, stop defaming us. Stop going after us, especially as it relates to James and to the business. I really think that's the heart of it. There might be other strategic choices in there, but no, I mean, I don't think this is a precedent-setting case. It will be interesting to see how the jurisdiction plays out, but different judges rule jurisdiction differently. It's still a very open conversation and a very open area of law with regards to what the internet does, but it's different. Like, if we had a case where somebody was just sitting, like me, sitting in Tennessee, and I said some of the things that were said about James Westbrook, would those statements alone be enough? I don't know. But when you get statements plus research, plus I think there's a possibility, or at least a working theory, that because she has said that Lori Ann is her best friend in the video clip, and whether that was facetious or true, we don't know. But now we've got a very close supporter and a paying member that's in Washington. So now it looks like there's income derived from Washington. There's income directly derived from Washington residents. So now we've got a little bit more. I don't know if that would be enough either, because all that income does get funneled through YouTube. So then it's, okay, well, what was the research? And I really think the decision on jurisdiction for me turns on the research done in the state. I think if there wasn't research done in the state, it's a much harder argument that there's jurisdiction in Washington. But when you're saying I'm looking for birth records, I'm looking for these types of records, and Tati was born in Washington, it, I think, gives you those contacts with Washington. I think no research in the state makes jurisdiction a much different argument. But we have those videos where she says what research was done in the state of Washington. And I think that's going to be enough for jurisdiction. I know Nate and Uncivil are both like, I don't know. And it's whether I want it to be enough is different than whether I think it's enough. But I think the research element tips the equation in favor of jurisdiction. Also, jurisdiction is a low standard. And if there is enough here, including the apparent disobedience of a court order, the judge might be like, you have jurisdiction because you are going to sit here and you're going to explain to me what the fuck is happening. And I am going to keep my eye is on you now. You are already disobeying my court orders. You didn't listen to my standing order. Your pages are over the limit. The filing numbering was wrong. And now it looks like a court order was disobeyed. The judge might just be like, no, it's enough. You're staying here. And you're going to hear it from me for the next 2 years. And that might be it too. So would that happen? A judge could be like, oh, no, there's no way you're going anywhere. This is clearly enough. So absolutely. But I don't think it's a precedent-setting case. Celine says, and Jilly Juice was the first person to dox KJ, not any of those other creators. These videos aren't up anymore. And once again, I think doxing is bullshit. I don't really know the whole thing. I did see screenshots of people saying that KJ had doxed herself in her live stream. I don't know if that's helpful, but I think, once again, no matter how much you don't like somebody, don't dox them. If you want to say they're an asshole, say they're an asshole, but you don't need to dox them. Don't put people's safety at issue. Say it like it is. If you think they're a bag of dicks, say that they're a bag of dicks. Fine, but don't dox them. Like, don't go after people's safety. I feel the same way about going after people's looks. That's not, I'm petty. I'll say that you say stupid shit, but I'm not going to go after somebody's looks because it's kind of irrelevant. But if you act like an asshole, you can say, this person's acting like an asshole. This is messy. I don't like this. They said this. That seems wrong. Fine. That's all commentary. Don't dox people. Anyway, I do not know the history as well as y'all do on that stuff. I've just seen the messiness, and the other channels cover the messiness well. Creep Show has explained what's gone on with her. BX Beast Boy has explained what's gone on with him. They are the best ones to explain it. Nick Schneider has given the color commentary. He's found a pot for her. Like, that's for them. I want to get into the lawyer shade. Sam L., what's an OSC? I probably said it really fast. It's an order to show cause. So it's a way to bring a motion to the court to say, what the fuck? We can call it a WTF if you like. What the fuck? You're ignoring the order. We also saw OSCs come up in the Girardi case because when Erica started selling her stuff on the Twitters through the company that's like Macari or Poshmark, they filed an order to show cause for why she wasn't adhering to the freeze order and why she was selling marital assets. It's the fastest way to get you into court pre-litigation like this, saying, judge, shit's going down. We need an order to show cause why this person should not be held in contempt. And then the court's going to go, Michael P. Brown, WTF, bro? What did this happen? Why did this happen? What did happen? Can you explain? Don't do that. And then the judge will give some orders. This is the shit you cannot do, in addition to the orders that I've already given. I'm so behind. I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up. Just trolling. I absolutely love these lives. Your voice calms me when the topic of discussion gets me going. Absolutely love that I found your channel. Well, welcome. I am not always a calming presence. Ask my children. There will be mom voice when I get angry about things, but I appreciate that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Trying to catch up. Thank you so much. What happens if she can't pay? We've covered that a couple times. There are a lot of options if that happens. One of them is garnishing wages, but that comes, we're so far in pre-litigation. Like, I want to see if she holds on to social media until we get to trial. Like, that's where I'm at. Are we going to be able to stay on social media before we get to discovery? Like, what's the over under on that? That's what I want to see. Like, do we lose social media before discovery starts? Ashley, since she is named in the filing, will she have to pay damages as well as the LLC if awarded? Maybe, because it's intentional and willful acts, and companies don't always cover you from willful acts, and defamation can be a willful act. The same way in the Calder case we were talking about with the reporter for the National Enquirer, the reporter got sued as well. He wasn't even protected from his employer, and he was working for a news outlet. So I saw questions. Let me see. Do you think KJ will countersue for slander? Seems like something she would do. There has to be a reasonable basis for an attorney to sign their name to it. And I don't know what Tati would have said that would have been slanderous. So can anyone sue anyone for anything? Yes. Is that always a good look? No. Is getting into that in front of a judge when there's already this much going on a good idea? That's a strategic decision. I probably wouldn't, but you would have to see what would be the statements of Tati. Because if we're talking about Saltzy, or if we're talking about things that are said in the course of litigation privilege covers it. So there wouldn't be. It would have had to be something Tati said prior to this for it to be relevant to this, but I don't think I've seen that ever. And if I'm wrong, at me somewhere and show me, because I would be interested to see it. Victoria, given the perceived severity of the breach, could the judge place all of her channels on hold and order her to stay off social media until the end of litigation? Yes, very much so, Victoria. That could happen. I'm very curious to see. Kayla, have you seen where KJ responded to someone saying she's not affiliated with Lori Ann in any way? Kind of sus. It is sus, since she said she was her loyalist fan. I don't think trying to distance herself now after the receipts that were in that motion is going to go well, especially since she was in her DMs. I just don't think that's going to go well. But what'll happen is, oh, okay, well, we should see your DMs in discovery, and then it'll be clear. So this can all just be cleared up. If those things have been deleted, the presumption's going to go that they were deleted to hide something, not that they were deleted because they were irrelevant. So that's not going to go well. Question, can contempt of court and family law become criminal contempt? It depends on the jurisdiction, and I cannot speak to that well. Most areas, contempt can become criminal, but again, that goes jurisdiction by jurisdiction. Hopefully that helps. Ellie Booth, I know a court can declare competency in criminal court. Could the court order a competency test? That is so far down the road that it would be hard for me to speculate, but that would have to come up from the defense first and then be requested by the plaintiff. So let me make sure I didn't miss any other. I'm sorry, you guys, there are so many comments with almost 5,000 of us in here. I'm sorry. The only person's looks I make fun of are my own. Same here, Taylor. Same here. What the hell has crazy Kathy Griffin gotten herself into now? So I'm going to read the Kathy Griffin stuff. It's jurisdictional. So the underlying basis of the suit is something with the MAGA hat wearing high school kids. I'm not as interested in the underlying fact. Now I sound like uncivil. I'm not as interested in the underlying facts of that, but it looks like the case got dismissed for jurisdictional grounds originally. Like, you court don't have jurisdiction over Kathy Griffin. So now it's looking like that's being appealed to see if there is jurisdiction over her after the lower court found that there was no jurisdiction. So the case is at the point where this case is now. So you got that. This is presumed. I have not pulled the court documents, but the way that would go is that a lawsuit would be filed. Then there would be the you don't have jurisdiction motion. It looks like the lower court said, agreed, we don't have jurisdiction, bye. And then it was appealed instead of just refiled somewhere else. I'm curious as to why that happened. And since we're such good fans of jurisdiction and we're already in the jurisdiction case law, we might as well look at other jurisdictional cases that are going on right now, and Kathy Griffin's is one of them. So agree with her or disagree with her, the question of pulling statements somebody made in an online or televised capacity into a different court is very relevant to what we're talking about here, no matter what the underlying shit is. It's just like with this case. Like KJ, don't like KJ, your decision, but the underlying facts are what they are. The procedural stuff now is kind of irrelevant to those underlying facts, other than, did what you say open the door for jurisdiction? Okay, yes, it's subject matter jurisdiction. And then did what you do open the door for personal jurisdiction? That's where the research and stuff comes up. Now, I love the story of it all because we're watching it unfold day by day on the internet, but the underlying facts aren't super as relevant to the jurisdiction. It's the actions that were done. So that hopefully helps. Haley McGinnis, can they force KJ to disclose her source? It depends. So it looks like a lot of the statements that are alleged in the complaint are based off of court records. So in the complaint, I'm just going to pull the complaint. Haley, I'm going to leave this up because it's a great question. And we haven't pulled the complaint up in like at least a week, I think. So let's just pull the other complaint up and go through, because the complaint is largely based on the Pathos article and then videos. So let me get into plaintiff's documents. Where is, again, there is so much here, you guys. Because, all right, here's the complaint. Let's pull it up. So in the complaint, a lot of the statements aren't based off of sources. A lot of the statements made are based off of stuff in that Pathos article. And the defamatory statements alleged are in things like this. Here are the different videos. Here are the titles of the videos. Here are the types of statements that were made. And it goes through all the 40 videos. Now there is the statement, at least 80 videos have been made. They allege 40 videos with defamatory statements. They can add to this. So you can supplement a complaint if there are believed defamatory statements that have come after this was filed. So since the end of October, they can also add to the harassment claim and to the infliction of emotional distress claims. So things can be added to this. You can amend a complaint to put more shit in it. But there hasn't even been time for them to evaluate that yet. I would imagine they'll go through the jurisdictional motion first, because if the motion to dismiss for some reason does get granted, then it can move the case to Minnesota, in which case they'll refile and add all this other shit in. If it doesn't get granted, then they'll have an opportunity to amend to add anything that has happened since October into this complaint. So if more shit was said, it can end up in here too. So my mods let me know that BX Beast Boy was in the chat. Hello, BX. We appreciate your straight shooting. I just watched it. If you guys haven't watched his video where he went on to chat with KJ on her channel, just watch his videos on that. I'll link him down below. I enjoy sharing BX's channel because I like his voice and because I find that the algorithm is not as friendly on the YouTubes to Black creators. So I will always shout out creators who need to be watched. So if you like he's very upfront with his brand of petty. So if you appreciate the take the jokes and keep moving, then that is what it is. And he's now gotten roped into this because KJ keeps putting his name in her mouth. So if you want all the drama backstory that's not the legal stuff, you've got to check out BX's channel. So these are the alleged defamatory statements. A lot of these come from not alleged, but from court records. So it's like, oh, this Pathos article, she said they came from records, criminal background of him and Tati, lengthy criminal rap sheet. It talks about the case in Hawaii. So a lot of this doesn't come from sources. The alleged defamatory statements come from court documents. The problem is, from my reading of the court documents and from my reading of the alleged statements don't come from the court documents. They are added to, expanded upon, and extrapolated in. So it's like, oh, the court document says, hey, we're suing you. The jurisdictional amount could be up to or more than $5 million. And then saying, this is a $5 million lawsuit. No, that's not what it says. What it says is it's up to this amount, and that's jurisdictional. So the statement, it's not a defamatory statement, but it's saying the lawsuit says this when it doesn't say that. And they're alleging that a lot of that is done in a defamatory way. So there's no source for that. If there were a source behind the statements to a source of truth, then that might come up as a defense, but not necessarily something they would force her to disclose. If it was my client, I'd be like, what do we have that we can settle with? But I would have said, what do we have that we can settle with after the first cease and desist? Because I prefer to try to work things out short of litigation. Not everybody takes my way of doing that. And that's okay. KJ yesterday went live, and Lori and joined. Can they use that against KJ? It just depends on what they're preparing. Because if she says, I don't even know who this is, and then she does know who it is, and then she's still up in her chat, will that come to proof statements? It's only if they deny that she knows her in court, not the shenanigans that are going on. So, thank you, BX Beast Boy. It's good to see you. I know what edges are. So, we try to, they're getting a little thin on the side, but we try to keep it good. It's good to see you. Victoria, if the lawsuit was dismissed, would the order to preserve evidence remain during the appeal process, and for how long? So it depends. If I were Tati's attorneys, I wouldn't appeal it. I would just move the case. But the notice that litigation is pending, that requirement to preserve is still there. Would the court order carry over if the court doesn't have jurisdiction? No, but there's still an obligation to preserve. There's still a litigation obligation to preserve, and they're on notice to preserve. So anything not preserved, the next court's just going to say, seriously, WTF, you have to preserve this. And there will just be another order in the next court if it gets filed somewhere else. So Sydney said, I just had to let you know that I am pregnant and my baby boy loves your voice. That is the sweetest thing, Sydney. He always moves when I listen to you. He needs a Law Nerds and Training onesie. We will make onesies happen for sure. Like little Law Nerd onesies will have to happen with like a little gavel or something. I love that. I'm sure the mods write it down so I don't forget that I've promised things. Thank you, Sydney. That's fantastic. I think sometimes when I get into mom voice, it strikes fear in the hearts of my children, but it's only when I've got like the full mom voice when I'm like, boys, the voice. You don't want to hear mom voice. It's like my court voice. Giovanna said, how can courts validate the authenticity of screenshots, etc., in the age of Photoshop and creative clipping? That's what the discovery process is for. So because things should be preserved, discovery should show them. So it should be like, hey, we now have your account. You can also subpoena things from Twitter, from social media. So there are ways to preserve. Once it's preserved, there are ways to then get it validated down the road. So there are lots of options for this. So yes. Adam, why is KJ still alive and being so present still? Wouldn't you be a bit quiet, even a little? If it were me and I was a professional YouTuber, which I feel like we're like kind of a professional YouTuber, we're like kind of a full-time content creator at this point, and I very much am excited to do that in 2021. I would continue to make content on everything, but not this. I wouldn't go live because you never want things to be taken out of context. I would be very careful, and I would continue the regular content from people that expect, because again, if it's your living, you want to be careful so that you're not taken off of the platform that makes your living, and you want to continue to make the content that your audience expects, and reminding them, though there is this thing going on, these are all allegations, and because these are all allegations, we're not addressing it. It's being handled. We're moving on and talking about what reality TV or whatever. And but no, I would not be live. But that's also when you're under stress in any way. If you are in Twitter beef, going live doesn't help. We saw this, I think, after Bye Sister James Charles went live to try to fix it and talk about it. And then people were like, well, he didn't really deny it, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do that. I'm like, he's under a tremendous amount of stress trying to apologize to Tati and take control of the situation. But the way he addressed it was very different when he sat down and made a video. So I think when under stress, oftentimes the best thing to do is to take a breath, take a step back, and pause before you respond. You don't have to respond contemporaneously. And if you do feel you have to respond contemporaneously, it can be, I know this is happening, a response is coming. I want to respond in a logical way and not emotionally. So it is coming. Give me a moment. Because in real life, when things happen, we generally have time to process. The internet can feel like it's moving so fast that people don't take time to process. Peter Mon talks about this a lot when he gets into his PR brain. He's got a very good PR brain, I think. But when Peter gets into PR brain, he's like, this is how I would kind of handle it. But it normally involves taking a step back, seeing the situation, and then getting into it. Of course, if you're not in litigation and you don't care and somebody pops off about you and you're just like, fuck that shit. Let me tell you what. Go ahead and be petty. It's just making it intentional and knowing what you're getting in for if you decide to go live. If I had a client, this is why I don't want to look. I had the opportunity to be involved with the Lindsay Lohan prosecutions, mostly because the lead prosecutor on the Lohan cases was also someone I was in a trial with on a homicide case. So because she and I were working together on other stuff, I was tangentially involved in the Lohan stuff, working with her and then helping doing tech and stuff like that. But in that, I got to know the attorney that was representing Lindsay Lohan, who's also the attorney representing Tory Lanez right now. Very smart attorney. but she works with celebrity clients a lot and talks about the amount of like not just legal shit that goes into representing celebrity clients and working with celebrity clients, but the amount of PR and strategy and life strategy and caregiving and like getting to court and all of the things that goes into it. And I'm like, I don't, the amount, like it's like having a lawyer plus a handler all in one. And I don't ever want to deal with that the way that the attorneys that deal with celebrity clients do. And it seems to me from Saltzy's clientele, just based on what he has shared on social and what we've seen in this and what we've seen with him representing Ryan's Toy Reviews in the companies, that he tends to take on clients who are going to listen. I am the same way. Like, look, my kids don't necessarily listen to me. If I am taking on a client and you don't listen to me, you are no longer a client. And that's in the, we're having a conversation. We've decided a course of action. We are taking that course of action. If we need to change course, we will have a conversation. You're not going to just go do shit because we have a plan. I imagine it's the same if you have a PR person or a marketing person and they're like, this is what we're doing. And then the client like goes and is like, nah, fuck, I'm going to go do other stuff. You're like, you're paying me to handle it. And if you don't let me handle it, I take pride in what I do. And I'm just going to be, we're just going to go. And that's how I would handle it. I don't know what got me off on the tangent of celebrity clients, but I think it would be very frustrating for an attorney to, because I imagine when the stuff went down with like her Twitter looked like it had been deleted and then it was back up. And so maybe it had been privated or just, I don't even know. Twitter confuses me, but it looks like it went down and then was back up. I would imagine Saltzy was on the phone to Mr. Brown pretty fucking quick going, we need, or an email, we need to have a chat, WTF, and now I have to file a motion for contempt. We talked about that. Let me see if I have any other questions. I am down. Are YouTube videos and questions still out there? Are they still monetized? Kristen, I don't know. I linked all of the Dropbox that was listed in the court document in the case where I broke down the video where I broke down the court document. I don't know. Some of them I think are privated. In the complaint, it talks about some of them being privated. And then in James Westbrook's declaration, it talks about what's privated. Some look like they might have been deleted. So I don't think most of the videos in the complaint are still up, but I'm not 100% which ones are up and which ones are not up. So I mean, if you're going to take them down, though, here's my strategy. If somebody comes to you and says, you've talked about me on this channel, I feel it's defamatory. You have a conversation with the other side, or the attorneys do, and you say, okay, would you like me to take it down? And they say yes. And you say, okay, I will take it down. You will not sue me, and we will all move on. You get a waiver and release. You take it down, and then you move on. But if you're going to go through all the trouble of litigation, would you take it down? Or would you leave it up because now people want to see it? Maybe you're going to make some money off of it. I don't know. That's a conversation for the lawyers, but it doesn't stop the lawsuit because Johnny Depp sued The Sun and that headline was up for 12 hours or 24 hours. It was like literally just a day and it was down and there was still all that litigation over it in the UK. So people are like, yes, Leonard's onesies. What's up, Kate? I need to talk about the conference. I'm going to pull that up in just a second so I can talk about it. We're at 9:00. I'm going to have to go twinkle, twinkle soon. Casey said my edges are wild and I regularly look like I have double horns. And you're fine with this. I love it. I love that the law nerds know what the edges are. I guess not everybody does, but I grew up in LA and I worked in Inglewood. So, we know things. Worked in Long Beach. RBG had onesies made for her grand clerks. Oh my God, that's so adorable. So when I was a DA, we had DA onesies that had the seal, the DA seal and the seal of the county on them. And then my brother we had lifeguard ones too, which is really fun. Gavel rattles. That's a great idea. So let me make sure I can get to a few things. Call the mods the clerks in the court of Emily. I will ask the mods what they think of being called the official clerks. They do. The hammer does kind of look like a gavel. It does kind of look like a gavel. Has anything occurred regarding death threats made by Lori Ann other than it being in the declaration? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's in there because of jurisdiction. It's also in there. So some of it's jurisdiction and some of it's legal strategy. Lorianne came after Saltzy on Twitter. So the fact that Lorianne lives in Washington and is a supporter of KJ and it's all said in there, all of it's coming in. Like all of the tea is coming in that declaration. And that's part of it. Paul, do you think that this lawsuit will change the platform of drama and commentary channels, how and what they cover? I don't know. A lot of channels do not do the type of research and the type of extrapolation that KJ does. Like if you look at a channel like Truth Sleuths, her videos are very much, this is what this says. I'm reading it to you. My interpretation, I am not a lawyer, but this says this. But we also have seen this out there on Twitter or this out there other places. So it is not taking the court document and adding to it. It's taking it and commenting on it and then commenting on other things that are in the public forum that have been seen instead of saying, oh, it says here in this lawsuit that, a mother was taken off of oxygen. But did you know that, James took his mother off of oxygen for inheritance money and that there were all these mortgages on the house? Well, that's not in the document. So then those statements become problematic. In commentary, again, you can, if you want to call people names, you can call people names. You can say, I think you're stupid. I think you don't have a pot to piss in. Whatever it is, that's, that is what it is. Some audiences aren't going to like that. Some audiences will like that. But those types of things are not defamatory. When we get to career criminal, that can be defamatory. A lot of the commentary community will throw shade, but will pull up tweets and pull up video clips of what people said and be like, this tweet says this and this video clip says this. What is that even? What is that even? That's commentary. And that's fine because you're not extrapolating beyond what's there. You're saying this is there and I think that's messy. This is there and I think that sucks. This is there and I think that's great. But you're not adding more. So when people are reporting court records, you have to make sure that the record says what it says. And reading it directly is one of the ways of doing that. This paragraph says this. Let me read it to you. That's not going to get you in trouble. Commentary has always been a thing. I mean, most of our news nowadays is just commentary. So I don't think it will. I think it's going to put some parameters around this, which is why I also want to talk about Tasha K and Cardi B, because again, things that are said on YouTube are going to be coming into lawsuits and getting into where the boundaries are of that is what our law is going to struggle with. And then what these platforms are going to struggle with is deciding, okay, somebody's being accused of defamation. Do we pull their channel now so we don't get sued? Do we not? And if Section 230 changes and allows social media platforms to be sued, we are going to see some of these terms of use change so that platforms protect themselves. Because get right, that Google's going to protect Google first. YouTube's going to protect YouTube first. Facebook's going to protect Facebook first. And then all of us come after that. What? Because the money. You just follow the money and decide how the decision. You can follow the money and see how the decisions are going to be made. I am so far behind. I am sorry. Missed the beginning, but I'm sending support. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you for keeping it up to rewatch. Of course. We always keep it up to rewatch unless shit goes weird. Hello, Truth Sleuth. This is what it is. My anxiety is a trillion with my mother's driving. I feel you. Hi, Mom, if you're watching on Facebook, you know how I feel about your driving and I love you. Question, will you still be covering Ringo? Yes. I am ready to record it. I want to make it 18 plus. I am working on something for it, so it will be monetized, but it will be coming up. It will be a Law Nerds After Dark because we're going to go in on all of the dirty jokes. Question, did you see where Katie's now saying she has no idea who Lorianne is on Twitter? Once again, changing your story is not going to go well when everything is on video, and that is the thing, and that is the reason that lawyers say just don't talk, because then it's so much up there. And that's what it is. So let's EC, love from sunny Arvo in Melbourne, Australia. Thank you. Would love for you and Creep Show to go live one day. She brought me to your channel and I am grateful. I adore Creep Show. And I know she is super protective, but those of her collabs and stuff. And if that works out, that is something that we will absolutely talk about. I would be I'm always happy to be a resource because if there are commentary channels that are like, girl, I want to ask you questions about this from what I've seen, we can absolutely always do that. You guys know my DMs are open. I try to get to them all. I didn't know that if you have more than like 100 DMs, it just says like 99 plus, and then I try to get through them all. Thank you for the support. There's a YouTuber that faked his suicide, and the real crime channel community is fuming. And see, stuff like that is just messy, and stuff like that the platform's going to have to deal with. And look, mental health in creator communities is very real. There can be quite a lot of stress doing this. I can't imagine doing this younger. It's one of the reasons why I love shouting out to Adam and watching him, like, and younger creators like Creepshow too, watching them navigate this. As a younger creator, it's got to be a lot. I am in my 40s. This would be much harder to deal with in my 20s. It would be a much stranger experience younger. And then the consistency of the thing is a thing. And so the creator burnout is real, and joking about things like suicide, joking about things like going missing, that kind of stuff that has real world implications and has happened in the creator community is beyond distasteful. And YouTube has to address that, because we do know that there have been creator suicides, and it is absolutely tragic. We do know that this can be a difficult thing to deal with, but we also know mental health in the broader world, not just in the creator community right now, is such a struggle with COVID, and people are struggling so much that having that also going on in public, even if you choose for it to be public, can be hard. But then when this is your livelihood, that push-pull of like, but I have to show up because that's how I make money, but I can't show up because my mental health is not where it needs to be right now to show up. I can only imagine how difficult that push-pull must be. So for people to use that is tremendously gross. And not knowing the whole situation, it's something platforms are going to have to deal with for sure. And I have not dove into the true crime community much here on the YouTubes, just because I worked with it so closely. There are still times that I just true crime and I are just not. I just don't always want to jump in because of my past experiences with prosecuting for so long. We still need to to protect myself in that. So that is why. So I want to make sure I get it's 9:15, you guys. I'm going to have to wrap up. I want to make sure I didn't miss any. Welcome to the channel. And Cade has a conference coming up. Give me 1 second and let me pull it up. It is Legal ASMR is the ASMR channel, and it's linked on this channel in my connected channels for sure. So you have it absolutely. And Cade, I think you should be able to put in a link to the conference, but let me just pull it up so we can talk about it. Number one, place your bets on wrap up number one, because I want to make sure that I share that, and I want to make sure that I get it right. So give me 1 second, because I have your email and I want to pull it up, and I meant to do it earlier, and then I went live and totally forgot. Sorry. Because our mods also have other stuff going on, and it's fantastic. So let me pull this up. So Cade, link it too, please, because I saw you chatting in the chat. All right, let me see if I can grab the link real quick to it. Where is it? We're finding it. Sorry, y'all. This is me being totally prepared, like 100%. Not a professional all the time. So sorry. We're trying. So hope.dev, let me pull up the screen, and then will you, Cade, put a link as well? Let me try to pull this up and link it. But the hope.dev conference is coming up. Cade pulls together all kinds of entrepreneurs. I've spoken at his summits, And let me see. I don't know if it's letting it or not, but I'm going to put in the link here. I'm just going to go ahead and show it. So Hope.dev is a 3-day virtual conference. It is coming back up. There you can claim virtual tickets. They are free. There are tons and tons of speakers. Look, my face. So this is businessy business stuff. There are tons of people involved. Thank you, Kate, for putting Hope.dev in there. So if you guys are interested, whenever our mods have stuff going on, I will absolutely make sure to share it with you guys. If it's something that is of interest to you, you are absolutely welcome to go and check it out. There are lots and lots of speakers, lots of familiar faces here from all different walks of entrepreneurship, but also Kate always brings in a hopeful aspect to it. So this is going on right now. You can access all of the expert sessions. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you're running a business, if you want to talk about hope and business all together, you can grab your free ticket for that and access these sessions and support one of our mods who is having really powerful conversations. The thing I like about the conversations that you guys do at Hope.dev, Cade, is that they are quicker conversations. Like, I'm a long format bitch. 2 hours and 15 minutes. No, Emily, really? Really? You talk for fuck ever? Shocking. But they are quick and digestible conversations so that you get like the hot tip and then moving on with that. So that's one of the things I love, and you guys have it in there. So if you want to go to hope.dev and check it out, you can. It is free, lots of sessions, lots of value. Absolutely grab it. Nicole, I know we missed Octo, right? Octo's been super busy. If you guys are on Facebook, Octo Nation is one of the featured Facebook communities. So there's been all kinds of stuff happening on Facebook with Octo Nation. They have been absolutely blowing up and have been so busy. So there are little, I linked it on Twitter yesterday. You can use if you're using Facebook stories, there's like an octopus hat that you can do on your stories and stuff. There's been so many amazing things happening for Octo Nation. But if you are part of the Octonation community on Facebook, you will see it. And he pops in when he can. He popped in on, was it Tuesday that we got to see Octo pop up and say hello? So he has been swamped. But he also works with my brand behind the scenes. So I still get to see him. I forget that you guys haven't gotten to see him in a while and miss him. So anyway, all right, you guys. I am going to see if there's anything that I missed. I think we got to everything. I think we got to all the super chats, you guys. The mods, thank them. They have been amazing. I'm just going to give you a wrap of what's going on for, it's Friday, right? It's Friday. I take Sundays off of social, and it is a non-negotiable for me in the new year. And I want to say unless something wild happens, but I'm trying to make it non-negotiable. Sometimes I actually have to delete the apps off of my phone on Sunday so I don't like accidentally just peek in. So Sundays are my social free days. If you want to join me in that, you're welcome to. It's weird the first couple of times you do it. If the weekends are your downtime to hop on social, don't feel the need. On Monday, I will be closing my 3 rings for the Ring in the New Year challenge with Apple. If you guys want to do that, know that I'm doing it along with you, and I will be sharing that on social. If you follow me, at the Emily D. Baker. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's where I do most of my behind the scenes stuff. It's the platform I think of first and then go to first generally. It's also not as cranky as Twitter. So if you guys don't follow me on Insta, go ahead and follow me there. That's where I'm normally on Saturdays chatting. And if I go live, I always text the text crew that I'm going to pop up live somewhere so that they know. And we'll do that on Instagram at the Emily D. Baker. That's my handle everywhere, from Clubhouse to Twitter. At the Emily D. Baker is where you can find me. It's part of why the podcast is getting rebranded next week to make it all easy. So I will be on social tomorrow. I will be off on Sunday. Monday is a business worky work day. Tuesday, we will be back live with different legal topics and chat like we do. New podcast, new year, rebrand coming on Wednesday. Thursday, the whole calendar coming at you. Thursday's the members only live chat. So if you are not a member of the channel yet, go ahead and join. You can do that at lawnerdsunite.com. That will be a members only live chat Thursday night, and we will direct the deep dives, and then those stay available for members only. So if you just become a member, you can see it in the members only video. You can go and look and see that there are members only videos that are available up there from last month's members only live chat, and then Friday Night Live. So I imagine somewhere in there, we're going to see a contempt motion for sure. So we will see it. We will see it. We will see it. Carrie asked, oh, I didn't. Did you save the stories of dropping off stuff from the fundraiser to highlights? I missed half of it. Christine, I didn't. That is a great idea. Some of that stuff is still up on Twitter. We raised over $3,200. It was donated in goods and cash. I really, really, really like Community Resource Center Nashville. I know they have community resources centers elsewhere. It's definitely a charity I'm going to be working with again. And then if other things happen and the law nerds are like, hey, this is going on in my community, I am happy to work with other community resource centers to support other communities through using this platform for charitable giving as things come up and as needs come up that we can help. So absolutely, absolutely. I will look for those and put them in a highlight. I totally forgot to do that, Christine. Such a good idea. Totally didn't think of it. I was very, very overwhelmed with how generous you guys were and what an amazing experience it was. And I completely forgot sometimes about the social aspect. I do that. We're not a professional when it comes to social media. For sure. Yes, Lori Carter, don't forget to thumbs up. How many do we have? We're just under 4,000 people in here as we're wrapping up on wrap up number 17. How many thumbs up do we have? Let's see what we can do as I'm wrapping up. Emma, this is a fantastic question. And my throat just didn't want to answer it. Hold on. Okay. No, you won't have to resubscribe. You will see it repopulate with the new name and the new album art and you are a channel member, so you can see that in the community tab. So for sure. You're welcome. Thank you. You guys, happy New Year. Let's see how many you can find stories in your archive. And I will, it's Thumper. I'll find them. Thank you for that heads up. I will find them and put them into a highlight. Me. That's what they're called. Bella Marie, thank you. We're at wrap up number 3,000. Pam, you guys know I love talking to you so much. It is literally my joy. And I love being here and doing this. Thank you guys so much. We're getting those thumbs up. I appreciate it. It always feels weird to ask, but it does help the algorithm, and the lives do help the channel grow. And like, I know there's so much fun to being in the business of YouTube. I really, really want to dye my hair purple. Like, I just have to be honest. So when I'm like, hit the thumbs up, do the YouTube-y things, let's let the channel grow, I want to dye my hair purple. I'm ready to get to 100K and dye my hair purple. And it's going to be an amazing 2020 here, you guys. Talking and breaking down the law like that. I would like to talk about more than one lawsuit. I would like to talk about something other. There are so many interesting lawsuits. right now we're just stuck in the one, but next week, we are not talking about Toddy Westbrook unless something else is filed. That's it, you guys. That's it. I am granting my own motion to move on. We definitely want to talk about FKA Twigs. We want to talk about, there are so many others. We want to talk about Jake Paul. There's Logan Paul, one of the Pauls. But what we're seeing is Suenami is not stopping. So are we going to keep calling it Suenami? This is what we need to ponder. Are we going to keep calling it Suenami, or are we in like Sumageddon? Is 2021, does it get a new name as the lawsuits continue? Because it's like raining lawsuits the way it's raining men right now. So the motion to move on has been granted. I am so ready. You guys, I am so ready. So on Tuesday, we are talking all other shit. So if anybody comes up in the questions and wants to talk about KJ, we're not doing it. I will let everyone know at the beginning of Tuesday. We're talking about other law shit. I imagine something will happen with the Girardis. And we will probably talk about the Paul case because it seems pretty quick. But yes, I want to talk about the FKA Twigs case. I think I'm going to talk about that on Wednesday this week. And then, yes, we will, Victoria, be following we're still with Suenami. We will be following the US version of the Johnny Depp case for sure. Sumageddon, Supocalypse, Suenami Year 2, Suenami 2.0. Supocalypse is good. Supocalypse is good. Goobergate. The Westbrook chapter of Suenami is like its own full ass chapter. It's like the Westbrook files and then everything else. So the Girardi stuff is going to be that way too. There is so much, and I'm going to pull those declarations because I want to see the tea on like the son-in-law leaving the law firm and not speaking to Tom Girardi. Like there's tea there that we haven't even had a chance to get into. So we are not discussing KJ until something else is filed. We're just not. This passenger Sammy, you're right. The salty fuck skate. So when we see that motion for contempt, don't be surprised. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. All right, you guys, I appreciate you. It is motherfucking twinkle, twinkle time. It is twinkle, twinkle time. Don't forget, thumbs up. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Go follow on the socials. Do the YouTube things. I'll see you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Bye. Connect with me everywhere. I'm at the Emily D. Baker. The podcast is the Get Legit Law and Shit podcast. So if you're ready to ride it on, head over to lawnerdshop.com, your place for all your law nerd needs, stickers, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and more coming soon. If you guys want to join the text, just text emily.com. If you want to join the channel, lawnerdsunite.com. Happy to have you. Support what we do here on the YouTube